Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the experience. It is Wednesday. It is 8:05 p.m. Central Time. It was raining like crazy here in San Antonio. The rain has finally stopped, and now we're going to get that nice, hot San Antonio, Texas weather that we all know and love. Not really. But I am not Ruben Prime, even though I sound like Ruben Prime. I'm actually Drew Yari. I am sick as a dog, but I am going to rub some dirt on it, as our elders would say, and talk about WrestleMania this weekend. That was WrestleMania. But like I mentioned, I am Drew, and joining me here as always.
Healthy in San Antonio, Texas. Get better, Drew. But it's
I will try.
Justin from Spine Buster Tees and SpineBusterTees.com. And join us as always. Our third man is
Ruben Prime. What's going on, everyone? Hope you guys had a phenomenal WrestleMania weekend. Hopefully you bobbed. Hopefully you guys bobbed and weaved through the extravaganza, the showcase of the commercials for this 2-night extravaganza. We're gonna talk about it, but hope you guys are doing well, and we're gonna get into some wrestling discussions.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, if you guys have probably already seen the entire Hulk Hogan documentary that they kept shoving at everybody in the fucking commercials. Jeez.
Yeah. Even beyond the grave, he's using his creative control. You know,
he's using creative control from the grave. That is amazing.
That's not gonna work for me, brother.
The young lion that is Hulk Hogan.
Right.
The young lion.
I want suplex Jesus Christ, brother. Again, we're gonna go in depth, very deep into the weekend of WrestleMania. Sorry about coughing. It was a 2-night extravaganza. But of course, we have some news surrounding the weekend, and kind of like last week, to try not to go over time. If we do, then fuck it. We're just going to incorporate everything that happened on the Raw after WrestleMania, as well as the events on NXT, and of course some news. I know Justin has some news. Ruben, I don't know if you have any news.
No, just my take on both nights of Mania, the Raw after Mania, and the news, but and Justin has reins on that, but definitely have some commentary on the news that broke out this weekend.
Yep.
All right, so do y'all want to do Wrestler of the Week right now, or wait till
after? Let's knock it out. Yeah.
Okay, so Wrestler of the Week, if you guys don't already know, is our choice of the wrestler or the wrestlers that we thought did something pretty cool, or just did something that we thought was pretty interesting, so to speak, however you depend on it, on your definition of interesting. It can be WWE, AEW, New Japan, what have you. So, gentlemen, whoever wants to start, who is your wrestler or wrestlers of the week?
I'll let Ruben take the reins this week first.
Okay. Going first. So, this week I'm going to go easy because we know what happened at the end of Mania Night 2, the main event, with CM Punk and Roman Reigns. Good match. Like, that felt like a WrestleMania main event.
Yes.
As soon as, for the whole Sunday, like it felt like legitimately like a WrestleMania, which we'll discuss more in depth, but gotta go with Roman Reigns. Not only what he did during the match at Mania, but also a promo that he shot in the back seat of his car.
Right.
Probably was his car. But that promo
which wasn't on TV, by the way. He cut the best promos to build up a match away from TV versus actually on TV, but
yeah, I mean, I like that was what a lot of people, that was like the sentiments of a lot of people. And I mean, I get it, but I do believe, which we will get into eventually tonight, just the fact that Phil, just with what we've been seeing for the past 2 years with Roman Reigns, post, Mania 40, creative has been just straddling him. So I think, and it's funny because they're on Netflix, right? You would assume with all the stuff that we see on Netflix that him throwing F-bombs, would be tame compared to the stuff that we see on Netflix. So to me, it's definitely creative stifling Roman because he can cut those promos if you let him loose. And someone mentioned Roman Reigns is just Joe with the volume turned up, and it's something similar to Austin, like Stone Cold Steve Austin is just Steve with the volume turned up, to 11.
Ruben, can I ask you something real quick?
Sure.
Do you think a lot of that, because I've heard that about Roman for years, and even like during the dark days of Roman when he was like saying, pretty much doing nursery rhyme promos of, Hickory Dickory Dock or do you think, and even now that he's, the tribal chief, and I would assume he has more pull, do you think a lot of it, a lot of like those kind of promos, like the one he cut in his car, which is like all of that he did in just like 3 or 4 minutes, was probably better than any of the shit he did in like the past month and a half? Do you think it's because maybe creative doesn't want him to go that extra mile to be more heelish? Or do you think it's Roman kind of not wanting to do it? Or do you think it's like half and half?
I could see it being half and half because it's like, what is the point of me cutting that promo if, let's say, if he wasn't wrestling CM Punk at Mania, let's just say this wasn't Mania, Mania season, and they told him all, like, go out there and cut this style of promo. But if it doesn't lead to anything, and you're just cutting the promo just to cut it, then I can see where he's like, okay, I'm like, it has to be a purpose, has to be a reason.
Right.
There has to be a reason for me to do the skating promo. So I get it. But also, there is a claim to be staked that, hey, there's definitely an issue of Roman just being stifled by creative. Because if he can cut promos like this, and it was warranted for him to cut it, maybe remixed a little bit, but I would rather him cut that in the ring. But then it goes to show, what if CM Punk has some creative control? Some, not all, because we saw what happened on Sunday. What if? So I definitely think that it's a combination of those things for sure, because that was really needed for this build, because you would have thought with the match that we had, right, and how good it was, and it will go down, they made magic, and it's going to go down as one of those match of the year contenders right there.
It's my
but you would, yeah, definitely. But like with the match that we got, you would have thought, hey, just you gotta have crazy promos, and then the SmackDown for Mania, the go home show to Mania, both Raw and SmackDown, it was just soft. Like we had years ago, just The Rock and Roman just whooping Seth and Cody's ass, and I was like, what happened? So that promo like sparked interest towards that match, and yeah, it's definitely some stake to have that. Yeah, like there could be some stifling creative, and also Roman being like, no. But I definitely think it's a stifling, creative being, just stifling down Roman, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say, it's just like, the whole point of the feud was that they hate each other. So why not go that extra mile? Like I think we all talked about it. I forget how Justin felt about it. Like the whole, I'm gonna bury you next to your dad. I'm like, that was unneeded. Like everything else I thought was fine, except for the final promo leading to Mania, where they're like, hey, I really respect you, even though I hate you, but I like you, and I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's like, with Roman being like, you don't even have kids. I have kids, and you're saying it's a bad thing. I want to be home and be with my kids.
Yeah,
Like
that promo. Sorry, Drew. That interview that CM Punk had when he just kept bringing up Roman's family and his kids. Like, yeah, like I'm gonna go and respond to that because when the video Roman doing that promo, he was listening to the promo. Excuse me, the podcast of Punk was on, and he responded. It's like, yeah, that's how you should respond as a man, as a as a husband, as a father. Like, yeah, like keep my name out of your mouth, and keep my children out of your mouth. And it just shows that, yeah, like that feud could have used that on TV, like just that bit, not the whole thing, but just a little a pinch or two or six, because yeah, like just and we know the whole Mania build just was just so off. It just felt just uninteresting,
Lackadaisical.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And that promo, I was on my way home watching that, and I went and watched it like 3 or 4 times. It was that like impactful. So besides, and I wrap it because I gotta get to everyone else for Wrestler of the Week. But yeah, that promo and then the match itself is the reason why Roman is my Wrestler of the Week, and gotta give a shout out also to CM Punk. I've been critical of the guy, and rightfully so. Yeah, deservingly so. But he went out there with Roman and made magic. And it's funny because Roman on his IG mentioned like, yeah, like even though like still hate you for all the shit you put me through, we went out there and made magic. And paraphrasing his caption on that post, but yeah, like they really went out there and made magic. So you got to have a good dance partner, and for all the crap that CM Punk has said and done, like he was a good dance partner in that match. I'm gonna go and watch it back after we're done again. But yeah, Roman Reigns my Wrestler of the Week.
Oh, head of the table. There you go.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, I was not expecting you to go with Roman Reigns because that's who I was going to go with.
Okay.
I thought you were going to lean another way, but I am going to go with Roman, and I am glad I was wrong about him winning. I wanted CM Punk to win because I was like, why should Roman win? I mean, he's going to be, part-time. Well, he pretty much put that to bed, 30 minutes after WrestleMania in the interview when he basically said like, hey, I'm here full time. You're going to see me all summer. So he's at least full time through all summer. So I'm fine with Roman Reigns winning because he's going to be full time at least for the next few months. Totally cool with that.
Yeah. Same. Yeah.
I will say this. I have a different reason why Roman Reigns is Wrestler of the Week.
Okay.
And it has more with him being he's getting, since he's gonna be full time now. Everything that he's going to do on TV is going to be important, which makes Raw important. There's gonna be some must-see elements to the show again, even if it's the Roman Reigns and Bloodline segment, whoever it is going to be at least must-see due to the fact that Roman's fucking fantastic at what he does. And we need more of that. We need more of that storytelling, that long-term storytelling. With this new version of the Bloodline. Now, I will say this: I don't want the Bloodline to be exactly the same as it was, a couple years ago. Switch up a little bit here. I think, early, just me thinking early on. I don't know if this is gonna happen. I don't know if it's gonna lead to this. There's a lot of things that this could lead to. Number one, it can lead to Jay turning on Roman and Jay going after the title because. This whole thing with Jey Uso, and I don't know if you guys saw. Well, I'm more sure that you guys saw that Jey Uso had an interview with Mason Cameron on, I think it was Thursday before WrestleMania, where Cameron has now deemed the phrase Saturday WrestleMania niggas. uh, which is fantastic. By the
Yeah.
way, I thought the interview was fantastic, but I also think too there could be something long term with that possibly. You know,
Yeah.
for a while people are thinking like, well, Jay seems like he's becoming the tribal chief, and he wants to become tribal chief, and he's having those character moments with that. So I think that could be one of the things that can come out of this. Number two, maybe they try and make Jimmy Uso a next main eventer somehow, some way with this. Maybe they do that.
Yeah. I'd like to
Maybe,
see that personally. Yeah.
maybe, maybe the Usos turn on Roman Reigns and they join up with Jacob Fatu. And Jacob Fatu has a shock title win over Roman Reigns at Backlash. There's so many storylines and elements that they can go into this. So the fact that Roman's back on TV, he's full time, and what he's gonna be doing is gonna be must see. For that alone, outside of the fantastic match, one of the best WrestleMania main events of all time, one of the all of that. I think that WrestleMania main event is like a top 5, top 7 main event match of all time.
Yep.
I mean, outside of all of that, but I think the main reason is that, I was wrong about, Roman. I was also wrong about Obafemi too. I'm glad I was wrong about Obafemi. I thought WWE was gonna give us that Brock Lesnar and, let him win, but no, Brock did good business in this feud all the way through. Oba did not look weak once. I'll talk about that a little bit later on, why I think that's not a good thing long term. But overall though, Oba won. That was fantastic. That was great. That was what was supposed to happen. Roman winning, I didn't want him to win because I was like, why should he win? He's not gonna be full time. But since he's gonna be full time now, fuck it. I am very much so on board with this. So for that reason alone, and everything else I said from before, Roman Reigns is my wrestler of the week. Drew, what's yours?
Mine. Good choices, by the way. I can see why you guys chose Roman, and I thought Roman did good business on Sunday, and also his promo work. Basically just cutting a promo in his car. But my wrestler of the week is different. My wrestler of the week is a rising up and coming star. It's not Obafemi because I've already talked about Obafemi twice as my wrestler of the week. My wrestler of the week is Sol Ruca. I thought she had a great debut on the Monday After Raw against the women's champion Liv Morgan. The crowd was hot for her. They loved everything she did. And the very next night on NXT last night, she had a really good, a last women standing match with Zarya.
Yeah.
And there was that sick table bump where it looked like Sol might have hit her head, but from what I heard, she's fine. I think Sol's going to be a star. And I think that term gets thrown around a little bit too loosely. In her case, I think she can pull it off because she has the look. She obviously has the talent. I think she's going to be surrounded by people that are more seasoned that could really, I guess, what's the term, make her last longer and maybe, hone her wrestling ability a little differently. I think in a few years she'll be less of a spot girl and more of a hybrid, like a spot and a technical wrestler. Probably promos is maybe my only caveat. I'm not trying to say she's like terrible on promos, but she does kind of slip a little bit. But again, nothing too major with me, just little caveats. But I think she's amazing. She's over. I think she can maybe be the female Jeff Hardy, in my opinion. Yeah. She's gonna sell merch. She's gonna get over. I mean, I don't want to say over just yet because over I think is overused, but I think she's gonna make them money. Like no doubt about it. She's gonna be big with little girls and also boys because she's not bad looking. But she's had a great week this week leading up to Wednesday. So Sol Ruca is my wrestler of the week.
Nice. Yeah, I'm really high on Sol Ruca and her match with Lib. I mean, we've seen her wrestle in NXT, and on PLEs and all that, so we know how good she is. But just the fact that she was in there with the world champion, the women's world champion, and Liv Morgan, just showed that she could definitely hang, and in time she'll get seasoned. Give her time. Like, this is her basically her debut, so the sky's the limit, and that finisher is going to get her over. It's kind of like Ember Moon's Eclipse. Like, kind of reminds me of that. Like, that move was was really over. So this is like the next version of that. So I'm definitely excited to to see her on on Raw. Definitely inject some life into the women's roster, and they need it. But I'm glad that she's on the main roster. Hopefully Mr. Levesque can book her properly.
Well,
knock on
speaking
wood.
of booking, great segue, Ruben.
Yep.
Well, before we get into WrestleMania, I told you before the show there's some things I want to get into first, like everything that happened outside of WrestleMania, as far as like news and matches from other organizations and promotions and things of that nature. Just kind of want to get that out the way, and so that way we can really just focus on the matches and review the shows from this week. But Ruben alluded to it, if Mr. Levesque can book so Ruka correctly. Well, according to TKO, President Mark Shapiro, he told a University of Alabama class that TKO has full control of WWE Creative. Have you guys seen this story or heard about this story yet?
I think Ruben sent me that quote.
Yeah, so I have the quote here, and it's a 5-minute clip. You can find it on X pretty easily. Just type in TKO Mark Shapiro. Just type in Mark Shapiro. You can find it pretty easily. But he said, and I quote, first of all, TKO has complete control. So we're responsible. Good and bad factor fiction. Having Hollywood tie-ins and celebrity stars and Logan Paul, Pat McAfee, Mark Wahlberg shows up and does his thing. Tyrese Halliburton last year got into a fight in the ring with Jalen Brunson of the Knicks. That's not new. It's just on a larger stage. And we're spending a lot of money to market the brand and market the content. And when you do that, you're going to win some folks over, but you're going to also chase some folks away. I want to stop right there real quick on that particular quote where he says, and you're going to win some folks over, but you're also going to chase some folks away. The folks that he's chasing away are longtime fans of the WWE, longtime wrestling fans. It sounds to me that he's a little bit out of touch on what the fans actually want, the actual real fans want. Like, what do you think about that particular comment?
I guess I'll go, unless you want to go, Drew.
Yeah, I'll chime in. Yeah, he basically is out of touch. He's basically admitting that all of our ideas aren't for everybody. I mean, he's already said, the stuff about the celebrities, in case I missed it when Justin was talking about it, where it's just like, oh, the celebrities help because they bring in, more audiences, they bring in more eyes and ears and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, yeah, but the thing is, you're catering to the filthy casuals. You're or not even the casuals.
You're catering to the people who have a shit ton of money to pay for this. That's what
like the people that sit in their skybox and they're not even really fans. They're just there because it's a big event and there's free food and they have a lot of money, as opposed to the fans who've been watching for years and years and years. And this also kind of segues into a quote that Kevin Nash had about it on his show, where he mentioned that he noticed that there weren't a lot of international fans at Mania.
Right.
And I think that's part TKO, but also part, the stuff going on with like, Border Patrol and ICE and, whatever. But it also does kind of play into TKO because it's like these prices are just insanely fucking high. And, he mentioned a while back, it's like, oh, Vince McMahon only catered to families. We're catering to, the majority and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, so in other words, fuck us filthy pores, right? Like that's basically what he says, like, fuck you filthy pores. And to go back to what Justin was talking about with the booking is he's just going to cater to a very, I don't know if I should say niche audience, but like it does sound like a niche audience of just people that he only cares about bringing in and not satisfying your customers.
What were your thoughts about that, Ruben?
Oh boy. I'm gonna keep saying this until I'm blue in the face. I mean, due to my skin complexion, won't be able to see
Right,
that.
yeah.
But again, TKO is WWE and WWE is TKO. So yeah, they have creative control, of course, because they're marketing, they're pouring money into this, and they have that influence of bringing in celebrities because they feel if they bring over these celebrities, they can have that crossover. So that is obvious. That's just basically calling water wet. Like that's
Right.
obvious. Like we've seen night one of Mania, and we've been seeing, even week in and week out with all of the celebrities that they have in house and a lot of these, weekly shows. But again, who who is the person that books, not talking about the main event, but everything else? Because the week to week shows are still bad. And I don't think TKO, like you said, they're out of touch. So I don't think they have a say into what goes on in the weekly television.
Oh,
Uh,
absolutely not.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get into a little bit more of this. Obviously, we'll finish the quote here in a second,
Yeah.
but also obviously Triple H and team is booking week to week to week. But but according to Mark Shapiro, he's saying this in a public forum. He
Yeah.
stated again, TKO has complete control. So we're responsible for the good and bad factor fiction. Now we know that
Yeah.
that Triple H is in control of like the week to week to week stuff. But when it comes to the bigger events, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, a big show, a big Monday Night Raw show, whatever it is, it seems like TKO is more involved in, and that's something that at least I've been mentioning, at least for the last few months.
Yeah.
That is, it seems to be that way. But
But it's obvious. It's
yeah,
obvious that they have their tentacles into it because again they
at
pour
least
their
since
money.
last year, for
Yeah,
sure.
definitely since last year. I mean,
Yeah,
we
with the
saw
with the Rock and Travis Scott and stuff. That was definitely a TKO situation for what it felt like.
and The Rock is on the board of TKO, so
Mm-hmm.
like we know, like, and it's funny he wasn't mentioned. So I think while they have creative control, obviously, like they have to because they're the ones who own WWE, but doesn't mean that they exercise it 100% of the time. Sometimes it'd be like, oh, okay, like how about this? What do you think about this, Hunter? And then Hunter will be like, oh, okay, that's good. Like, that's fine. And then, he'll implement it, he'll put it on TV. So they may have creative control, but they're not always, they won't always fire the bullet.
Right.
It's like they have it in the chamber, but that doesn't mean that they will just step in for the undercard, lower card. It's only dealing with celebrities, the main event, and even even IShowSpeed. Like I know they brought him in for sure. Jelly Roll, Pat McAfee, we know this, but I do think that
Lil Yachty, yeah.
Lil Yachty, yeah. But yeah, like I do think some instances, like I'm all about being fair. Like
Yeah.
TKO having creative control, we knew this, but I do think that people tend to just give Triple H cover, give him too many mulligans when we see how he books week in and week out, and it's just awful.
Right.
Like some weeks unwatchable. We could look at SmackDown on a week and week basis, 3 hours, and that's just horrific. So yeah, like TKO, they should get the blame because they're money hungry. Look how much they're charging for tickets and combo packs and all these experience, no pun intended, all these experience like attractions that they have, like 10 grand to get in Cody Rhodes, bus for Mania
Right.
weekend, and people actually paid for that 10 grand before taxes.
Oof.
So TKO is taking advantage of the fact that there are people who will pay regardless because they have the money. They're not gonna cater to you and me, you know. So those are the people that they're catering to. That's on the money side, that's dumb. But creative still goes, I'll say 70-30 Triple H TKO.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, going on and just a review of what was said here so far in the quote, just to pick up, he says, you're going to win some folks over, but you're also going to chase some folks away. They don't like this, or they don't like that. This is too expensive, or oh my God, to watch the WWE, I got to buy Netflix, which costs this much. I got to watch SmackDown on USA. I got to do that. I got to have CWC. So I have to have cable. And now I have to pay for ESPN, and you can make some enemies really quickly. I was just reading something today that if you want to watch the Yankee games this year, the full season through the playoffs, you'll have to pay. You have to watch them across 10 platforms, and
Jeez.
at the cost of $1,000. When you add everything up, you have to buy to see them. That's just the way of the world today. Well, first and foremost, I don't know shit about the Yankees, but I know if I live in the New York market, that if I have Yes, that should cover the Yankees right there for majority of the season.
Yeah.
Yes Network, right? Like, I don't even live in New York, and I know that. But
Yeah.
but to me though, like when he says they don't like this, they don't like that, it's too expensive, oh my God, I gotta watch the WWE on Netflix, I gotta have SmackDown for USA, CW Network, ESPN. It kind of seems like he's not necessarily mocking, but he's not really showing any empathy to, like, there's some people who really can't afford all that.
He's not.
Nope.
Yeah, so I don't I get what he's saying. He's saying that's just the world of today. That's true. Not disputing anything what he's saying whatsoever. I agree. That is the world today. This is not, 2005, where you could just get a buy with just a cable subscription. I totally get it. Totally understand it. Also, at the same time as well, you got to understand that, the way that the world is going right now, even before the last several years, 5 years ago, when there was a pandemic, people were very, very, very price conscious of what was going on. So, to me, it sounds like not necessarily it is like an empathy, but it's also lack of relating with people. You're a billionaire, of course you're not gonna complain about oh, I gotta watch this, I gotta go here, I gotta go there. Of course you're not gonna complain about that because you have a shit ton of money, you personally, right? But just think about that student that you're talking to who probably can't afford a sandwich. You know what I mean? A sandwich. So we'll end with this and we'll move on here. But what do you guys think about that, on how he is seeing the consumer base right now, as far as like no empathy on that we have to buy all these channels and subscriptions to multiple places? Like, so how do you guys feel about that quote from Mark Shapiro?
I mean, it's just rich people being stuck in a bubble. That's basically how it's always been, is that rich people are like, so you're telling me you can't afford Netflix and ESPN and cable and fuckity fuckface network and
caviar
and another VPN? Wait, so you're telling me you don't have a movie theater in your house?
Right.
Pores. Oh my God. Next you're gonna tell me that your butler doesn't prepare your meals every day.
Right.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
It's just rich people being ignorant, living in a bubble. And yeah, if I didn't have a show, I wouldn't have all this shit. I wouldn't be wasting time with Netflix, which, by the way, they're gonna go up I think like $2 more next month. So yay. I wouldn't have had to get a VPN. I wouldn't have. I'm not even gonna bother with ESPN because fuck that. I've already heard bad things about the ESPN app.
Yeah. Luckily, I have cable, so I get it already. But if I didn't have cable, that's a hard sell for me.
I miss the WWE network because it was just so fucking simple and easy to navigate through.
That's what I'm hoping with this whole new AEW plus. I'm kind of hoping if they decide to bring it to the States, because you already get like free shows on there already. So if you just want to pop on it and just watch whatever on there, you can. But I hope AEW does something like that in the near future. We'll see.
Yeah, I hope so too. I definitely hope so, because again, and I know I just mentioned it with Tony Khan. Like he's seeing what WWE and TKO are doing, and he should definitely take advantage with this AEW, network that he has going on. Like, take advantage. Like, give people a good value, not only with the content with the pay-per-views, but also with the shows. And if they could do something a week before Mania weekend to compete and say like, hey, like guys, like come on in, like join the party. And I definitely think if he just focuses on that instead of trying to compete with WWE directly, go head to head with them, go indirectly, go up against them indirectly where their weak points are at. Because when you do that, then you get people that will stay when they see, oh, this is what we're giving them. This is what they're offering. We're going to take it. So I definitely think they have an opportunity to take advantage. But with human nature, gotta forget we're human, and people's egos get in the way, and we know this with human beings. But hopefully Tony Khan can take advantage because he has a good bankroll, so you can use some of that and put into something with the network that's good. And then for Mania week, or before Mania week, the weekend before, do something like take advantage. Like the WWE is limping, take advantage. Like it's there. Like just go and take advantage because it's right there. Like this is their chance. But again, human nature.
Yeah. Well, that was it for the Mark Shapiro quote. Thought that was very topical and important, being that it was WrestleMania weekend, and also as well, I mean, kind of sheds light on some of the booking that we saw for WrestleMania, some of the extracurricular activities around WrestleMania. So leave a thought down below in the comment section, and give us your thoughts about that. So moving on to all of the wrestling that was not WWE this past weekend. And I'm just going to, roughly run through these. And if you guys want to give your thoughts about any of these, you can. Or if you saw any highlights or heard anything about it, we'll love to hear you guys' thoughts about it. But this past weekend, some of the notable matches that we had. First one I'm going to read here is that you had Blue Panther versus Ultimo Guerrero from CMLL. Now, the reason why it's such a big deal because they wrestled a great match. Blue Panther, I'm gonna ask you, Drew. You probably never heard of Blue Panther before. If you have, great. But if you had to guess on how old Blue Panther is, how old would you think Blue Panther may be?
I'm gonna guess 65 years old.
You're right on the fucking dot. He is 65 years old. He is 65 years old. And Ultimo Guerrero, if you can guess, Ruben, how old you think Ultimo Guerrero is?
Ooh, well, Blue Panther is that old.
65, yeah.
Let's say younger.
He is younger. Yeah, he is younger.
Say like 30s.
No.
30s.
No, older. No, way older.
40s.
He's older.
Damn. Okay. 50s. He's in his 50s.
He's in his 50s. Yeah.
52.
He's 54 years old. So you had Blue Panther, 65 years old. Ultimo Guerrero, 54 years old. Hearing that on paper, you think, oh man, that match must have been a drag. I shit you not, guys. It was better than 90% of the matches on WrestleMania. They had a fucking great match. Not match of the year or anything like that, but good God, man, the work rate that these guys did, man, was amazing. So shout out to Blue Panther and Ultimo Guerrero. They were doing like moves on the. I'm talking about like they're doing like dives on the outside and like fucking Ultimo Guerrero's doing like a spinning Hurricane from the top rope, like
Oh,
get
wow.
out of here, man. Like, let's be serious here for a minute. But they wrestled a great match.
I think they're taking the same thing Rey Mysterio's taking, because he's 51, and you know,
I mean, they were moving very slow, but they were the execution of moves was still happening. They were still doing the head scissors pretty good. They were still doing like dives from the stage and catching each other, and it was a great match. A lot slower, but it was a great match. Like, God, man, these guys for their age, they're wrestling a great fucking match. I'll put it to you this way: if this match was on a WrestleMania card and they produced the same match, people would have been like, "Oh, that." I wouldn't doubt people say, "Oh, that's my match of the weekend." That's my match of the weekend, just because of how old they are. But yeah, if you guys haven't seen it, if you guys haven't seen it, catch the highlights. So you can find like a 30-second, 40-second highlight somewhere on X, Twitter. Watch it, owe yourself to it. Even if you don't watch it, just watch this 40 seconds. It's not going to kill you. But you can see like, damn, these guys really did their thing in there. So next we're gonna move on to GCW's Bloodsport. Couple GCW events here. Bloodsport first and foremost. You had Natty Neidhart versus Shayna Baszler. You had also Pete Dunne in there as well, and Natty Neidhart and Shayna Baszler. It was a wrestle to a no contest, good match. Then you had Pete Dunne, who won in his match as well. Now it's good to see Pete Dunne. Haven't seen him for a long time. I don't know where he's been, but but at the end of Bloodsport, Josh Barnett came out there and said that it was going to be the last Bloodsport event for the foreseeable future. So Bloodsport, which has been part of these WrestleMania and SummerSlam weekends and things of that nature, it looks like it's going to be the last one for now. Did you guys see anything on Bloodsport? Did you guys see any highlights from it from this past weekend?
Nope.
No, I wasn't able to catch anything. Wasn't on my feed, ironically enough.
Yeah. Well, believe it or not, it happened after night one.
That explains it.
Yeah, it happened after night one. Which to me, I was like, fuck, man. Like, at least, Well, no. It happened after night one. No, that was George Nella's spring break. This happened after. This happened during the Hall of Fame. So it's happening during the Hall of Fame. So anyway, yeah, I thought, I mean, it's always good for those particular events. So I like them, but it seems like Bloodsport has come to an end for now. So
yeah.
Moving on.
I did see Brody, like clips of Brody Lee Jr.
Oh well, I'm gonna get into that right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll be talking about that. But before that, doing the Immoral Clusterfuck. Another. This is from JCW. I'm sorry. It's still GCW. I'm sorry. There was a lot of wrestling this past week. Like, good God, there was so much wrestling this past weekend. But another from GCW, the Immoral Clusterfuck, is like a fucking the longest battle royal, Royal Rumble style in the history of wrestling. You had a whole bunch of people that came in there, and it's supposed to be not taken seriously.
Yeah.
And you want to know the biggest highlight from this? Unfortunately, the biggest highlight from this. Did anyone see anything about this Immoral Clusterfuck? You had two wrestling reporters in the ring wrestling each other. You had Sean Ross Sapp, who is not a wrestler. He may have some training, but he had, whatever. Versus Brian Alvarez from Dave Meltzer's Wrestlers Over Newsletter, who's actually a wrestler. He's actually wrestled. I don't know if he still wrestles actively or whatever, right? But they had a spot against each other in this match, and they were throwing chops back and forth, and it just ends with a super kick from Brian Alvarez, which is crazy to see. But yeah, it's and that's why it's called the Immoral Clusterfuck. Did anyone see anything about this over the weekend?
No. Like
there's a lot of shit going over this past week.
Yeah, just so much going on. I just saw Sandman, his entrance.
Yeah.
And then Brody Lee Jr.
Yeah.
Wrestling.
That was those two things there. Drew, I'm assuming you probably didn't see this at all.
The only things I saw were the Sandman with Kendra Lust.
Whoa. Well, we'll be talking about that right now.
Hold up. Well, let me kind of finish real quick. That I won't get into that. I'll let you get into that. But and of course, Brody Lee having his match. So yeah.
All right. Well, let's get into the Sandman. Sandman went up against the Invisible Man, and that was you know what? Look, Cornette, he's gonna fucking die over this. He's gonna kill himself over this, whatever, right? But damn it, man! Like, if this is Sandman's last match and he didn't have to take any real bumps or any real danger, I'm all for it. It was fun. Mick Foley came out there, did his thing, attacking the Invisible Man with that as well. It was meant not to be taken seriously. If you take it seriously, you're watching the match completely wrong. And I thought overall, I thought it was fun for what it was. Sandman did his entrance for the last time. Fucking cool as shit. I was all for it. At the end of the day. So, Drew mentioned he went out there with Kendra Lust. I didn't know who Kendra Lust was before this match happened. Didn't know who she is, but she's
a pioneer in her craft. Ruben.
Well, I'll just say I was like, who the hell is Kendra Lust? I looked up. I was like, oh, well, of course, everyone likes this because whatever. But yeah, very, 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 very cool to see. And Sandman lost his retirement match. So I'm gonna go through everyone who interfered during this match, who showed up during this match. Okay, you may not know everybody on this list, but this is everyone that was in. Bill Alfonso, Violent J, Vampiro, Too Tough Tony, Richard Holiday, Early Morning Guy Steele, Kendra Lust, Missy Hyatt, Invisible Stan, Mick Foley, and last but not least, the ECW Zombies.
Yay.
Everyone that interfered in the match there. So very fun, very entertaining. Wrestling is meant to be meant to have fun. And people who took this too seriously is I don't know what the fuck you want. So
I mean, that kind of stuff is just like, why am I gonna get mad when everything else on the main show sucks?
Well, even at that too, because during WrestleMania, I mean, you had fucking Danhausen came out there with a whole bunch of midgets, and that's what they were called. They call themselves midgets, by the way. People love that, but there's some of those same people didn't love this. So it's is it because it has a WWE logo on? Is that why you like it? Because it has a WWE logo on. This one is not a WWE thing, So it's just just is what it is. So. All right. Moving on here. We did mention about Brody Lee Jr. Brody Lee Jr. went up against Joey Janela in his very first ever. To my knowledge, not rehearsed or anything like that. This was his very first singles match. And for him, he just turned 14 years old. For him being 14 years old, he's like a prodigy. I thought he'd wrestle a fucking fantastic match with Joey Janela. And I know Joey Janela, he gets a lot of crap, but man, he put the kid over, man. He did a great job in this match. Great job building up the feud as well. You know what I mean? And a lot of people went to that GCW event to specifically see Brody Lee beat up on Joey Janela. So I gotta give Joey Janela credit. But Brody Lee wins with a sharpshooter, and he made Joey Janela taps out. And Brody Lee Jr., he gave a lot of tribute. There's a lot of people that he likes. And he did some of the things from different move sets and people in this match. We're going to read some names here. Of course, his dad, Mr. Brody Lee. Obviously, he's going to do his dad's moves. He also did some Kenny Omega, some MJF, some Bray Wyatt, some Natty with the sharpshooter, and some Cody Rhodes. He had a sick I don't know if you guys saw that crossroads that he did on Joey Janela, but it was a sick, very nice for a 14-year-old kid. Very nice crossroads on Joey Janela. Thoughts? I know you guys kind of seen some of this, but thoughts about it?
Again, 14 years old. Just the fact that he went out there and wrestled, and he had a good dance partner with Janela, so like you can't beat that. Like he's going to, and we know he's gonna wrestle. Like this is what he's gonna do, and it's only 14. It's
he's already signed to AEW to be to debut at maybe 18 years old. So we'll see.
Yeah. 4 more years.
If AEW is still around by that time too, so we don't know either. But regardless, he's gonna be either in WWE or AEW. So if he's getting these reps early on, like he's gonna be, by the time he gets 18, he's gonna be really good.
Absolutely, I definitely think he'll land in AEW, WWE. He's gonna land somewhere, and he's gonna hone his craft. And I see him training in the I believe in the Heart Dungeon. So like he definitely has some good some good teachers.
From what I understand too, as well, is that he's like, just because I'm a kid, don't go easy on me. Like go hard on me like you do everyone else. So the fact that he wants to be not training differently because he's younger, that's gonna make him successful, I think.
Oh yeah, that's a good attitude to have.
Yeah. Well, he's been training since he was, I think, when his dad passed away. He
at least 10 years old. Like
I know Natty. I think Natty trained him, and I think Liv Morgan trained him, which is random. But no, like 14 years old, and I haven't seen the match. I'm only going by what you said.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's highlights on X, 40-second highlights, so you can kind of at least get a glimmer of what we can do.
Which I'll watch him, by the way. But like, I don't know, like 14 years old, and he's already he already had his first match, and he's like telling people, "Hey, go hard, like really like bring it." I'm like, damn. Again, I don't really know what else to add that you guys have already added. The sky's the limit for this kid. I mean, Tony Khan already gave him a lifetime contract.
Yeah,
after
something like that. But
after Brody passed away, he financially took care of his family, which is good.
Yeah.
So I mean, the kid's set for life to do whatever it is he wants to do, and in his case, he wants to be like his dad. He wants to wrestle. So whether he starts on AEW, which I'm assuming he'll start on AEW, probably WWE, because he has that connection with Cody. Because I think Cody's like a god, like his godfather or something
pretty
like that.
Much, yeah.
We'll see. I think the kid's gonna do fine in whatever it is he does. We'll see. I mean, I'm always uncomfortable about people starting out that young, but he seems like he has a good head on his shoulders.
I mean, to me, I think it's good if you start that young, because you're gonna because if he starts off that young, that's only gonna make his wrestling career even more so. Like, look at Javon Evans. You think Javon Evans started at 19 or 18 years old as a wrestler? No, he had to start off at around the age of a Brody Lee Jr. In order to get the reps that he's in.
Well, it's just like, the business has changed, because back then when people were that young, they were almost kind of set up to fail. And, Orton was that young, and Orton kind of did almost lose his career. Yeah. And then he got in the straight and narrow. But the business has changed.
On the flip side, look at Rey Mysterio. He was in Mexico wrestling like he was like 13, 14 years old. And, look at the career he's had.
Well, it also kind of goes to what I was saying. It's just like, there's been very few good stories. But the business has changed to where a lot of these young guys, they have it better than a lot of the older guys did.
Yep.
So someone like Javon Evans has it better, and also someone like Brody Jr. has it a lot better as well. Right. So I think he'll do fine because he has a good support system. That's kind of what I was getting at.
All right. Well, that is it for the wrestling part of the non-WrestleMania, and we're gonna move on to. We're edging our way over to WWE, but before we get into WrestleMania, I want to talk about probably the biggest non-wrestling thing from the weekend. I think personally, a lot of fans they're in Las Vegas. A lot of fans who are there seeing wrestlers at the hotels, on the streets, things of that nature, trying to get pictures. And it seems like there's been a lot of incidents this past weekend. There was an incident with I'm gonna say with the following names here. There was an incident with Booker T. Booker T was in the restroom. Someone was trying to record him in the restroom. There was an incident with Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre said on X, and I quote, to those who rushed my family and I in the hotel, kept your kids up until 2 a.m., throwing them in front of us, or shoved the camera in my face without asking. You're lucky I'm a calm nature person outside the ring. Please don't ever do that again. You also had a situation with Royce Keys. Royce Keys had a situation with a fan, and a fan was like demanding a photo and an autograph, and Royce Keys made clear, says, "This is my time. I'm gonna go. And he left from that. And that's actually recorded as well. You also had a situation at WrestleCon. This is a non-WWE event, different from the world. You had a situation. I think this is the most egregious one out of all the ones that we're gonna talk about this week. This is the most egregious one. Elena Black, the former Cora Jade, said that she was assaulted by a fan at WrestleCon, where the fan grabbed her ass. And you also had Casey Navarro that came out as well and had a quote about that too, which I think I have here. If not, we will skip it. I think I have the quote. I should have it. Sorry about that. Should have that up already. Is it not here? If it's not here, we'll skip. Oh, well, no, it was a video. That's why I can't find the quote, because it was a video. So there's a video of Casey Navarro addressing the situation, asking people to be better, essentially, right? Of the situation there. But yeah, that was a disgusting situation there. I think that was the most egregious. But the one that's getting the most talked about is CM Punk. CM Punk slapped a phone out of a fan's hands. There's a personal moment with AJ Lee and Bailey in the I believe the talent stay at the MGM Grand Hotel. And it's not like one of those situations where it's in Vegas. So since it's in Vegas, they can't block it off as they would any other normal city. So if let's say they were in San Antonio, let's say they were in Los Angeles, let's say they were in Miami. The hotels themselves, wherever they stayed in, it can be blocked off from the general public. Since they're in Vegas, it cannot be blocked off from the general public, because guess what? Inside those hotels are casinos, and the hotels and the casinos, they need to make their money. So that's why, it seemed like security was non-existent, and also as well that a lot of these situations were happening this past weekend in Vegas. So the fan went on to say, I want my apology to this is the TMZ Sports, by the way. I'm sorry. He said, I want an apology. He said, shake my hand. I'm not going to sue him or put him in jail. I just want an apology. Yeah, sure, buddy. Yeah, you're going to get your apology. All right. And also as well, before we go deep dive into this, a reader from a PW Insider noted that minutes before the recorded moment with CM Punk that is circulating, Damian Priest had to step in to help a female talent, didn't say who, get away from a similar group of people trying to surround her for photos and autographs. The lack of security at the hotel was a topic of conversation all over WrestleMania weekend, and that's coming from Mike Johnson, MPW Insider. So I'm gonna put this question as a whole. What are your guys' thoughts about this whole clusterfuck of a situation with fans coming up to talent, demanding autographs, demanding photos, assaulting them, sexually assaulting them, things of that nature? Like, what the fuck's going on? Whoever wants to start first, y'all can open that up.
So I actually did find the quote from Casey Navarro. If you want me to read it.
Yeah, if you can get through it.
So he did say, I just want to address something that happened today at WrestleCon. Obviously, everybody's seeing what's going on. You see the video down below. I don't know what the fuck is up with dudes, and you know what? I'm going to speak up because I know no one else is going to do it, but what gives you the right to touch a woman? Now I had my guard down for 10 seconds when this whole situation happened, but as soon as I realized what happened and security did absolutely nothing but sit there,
Right.
I grabbed the motherfucker myself and threw him out myself. And he closed it out with, I don't give a fuck if you guys want to subscribe to OnlyFans and have your fantasies. I don't care if you guys are the biggest Elena Black fans. At the end of the day, she's a fucking woman. Have some fucking respect. That's what he said on his social media. And this doesn't mean anything, but fucking Jasmine St. Clair defended it, which she's a fucking cunt. So fuck her.
Who?
Jasmine St. She basically defended the whole situation with the fan grabbing her.
What did she say? Do you have her? What she said?
I have it. I don't really. Whatever. I already mentioned it, so I might as well bring it up. She said, by the way, really quick, some people were asking about the whole situation with that girl and the fan at WrestleCon.
Right.
There are cameras there, guys. You know what? And if something did happen, so be it. And for what I did hear, someone that's worked at that convention for years, they never had a problem with that specific man. So take it for what it is. Some girls say stuff. If something bad happened, then oh well. She's a fucking cunt. Screw her. Anyways, let me just kind of bring it back to what you were asking. Again, it almost seems like this is like the boy who cried wolf when it comes to these situations, because we've talked about stories with fans just being very not knowing boundaries when it comes to wrestling, because we talked about there's a situation with Rhea at a hotel where they were waiting for her outside of her hotel.
And sorry, I cut you off, but you have people showing up at sending wrestlers stuff in the mail and showing up at their houses. You remember what happened with Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville those years ago, and also there's people that showing up to Rhea Ripley's house as well. So yeah, but I'm sorry, I just wanted to make that point. Going
no, good point bringing that up, because that was a huge discussion we had a few years ago. But just these aren't real fans. Like, if you're going to stalk somebody, if you're going to show up at their home, if you're going to show up outside of their hotel room, if it's like outside of the hotel, that's still kind of weird, but like you're showing up outside of their hotel room. That's basically they're like invading their privacy. That's crossing the line, and that doesn't make you a real fan. That makes you a stalker. Like that's not showing any respect. There was also, I don't know if you brought this up, and if you did, I'm sorry, but there was the video of Randy Orton. He was trying to, I think he got lost in the hotel, and he was trying to find his way back to his room, and fans were just like swarming him.
Yeah.
And,
that's another example. I didn't bring that up, but that is another example.
If it's like a situation of just like, hey, I'm a fan. I just want to tell you I'm a fan. Can I get a picture? That's fine. But it's just like, shoving all this fucking merchandise in their face. Like Drew McIntyre mentioned, putting your kids in my face at 2 a.m. when they should be asleep, trying to get sympathy points out of me. And Drew, being, the nice guy that he is like, I'll do it, but you should know better. And then the situation with Elena, where that guy grabbed her ass. I think that's the story. He grabbed her butt. And that's just beyond that guy should be banned from all conventions.
Right.
Like, he should never be allowed at any wrestling convention. It goes without saying, show respect to women. Don't ever do that unless that's your woman.
Right.
At the end of the day. And with a lot of these wrestlers, I know Cody Rhodes, he made some quote where he's like, you should be more worried when they're not showing up for you. Yes and no, but it's like, he should also know better with that quote. He should also know there's a difference between someone being a fan and someone crossing, boundaries. And in this case, a lot of boundaries were crossed, and the fans should really fucking know better.
Right.
Like, this almost makes me feel ashamed to be a wrestling fan.
Well, true, but and I agree. However, this is not just exclusive to wrestling. Obviously, it's exclusive to pretty much anything. So I want to just say it will make me ashamed to be a wrestling fan, but it will also make me ashamed to be any other particular fan of any particular genre as well, because I mean, I'm pretty sure it happens in the world of anime, it happens in the world of video games, it happens in the world of Harry Potter and Marvel and comic books and all that stuff. But Ruben, what are your thoughts about this here? And I have a follow-up question after this as well.
For sure. I mean, we all know this. Like there are fans, and then there's fanatics,
Right.
and there are a lot of fanatical people out here. A lot of people that just muddy the waters, and they turn fandom into basically stalking, and just they just don't understand boundaries. So they think that, well, these performers are not people, they're just there for our entertainment, and we can basically shove babies and pictures and merch and all that and title belts in these people's faces for them to sign. And it's like, you gotta understand boundaries. But us, we know that because we have some common decency. These people don't. It kind of reminds me of a lot of the other fanatics in sports and anime, and also scalpers. Like, scalpers believe, well, like, I'm trying to make money. I know this thing is viable, so I'm just gonna buy every single item and resell it, and people will buy from me, not knowing that you're shutting out people from that market because you want to make a quick buck. And they have no shame. And it's the same thing with a lot of these wrestling fans. They just have no shame, and just lack of awareness, lack of social awareness that I've seen. And this isn't new. This these so-called fans just harassing and touching inappropriately these wrestlers. They're people at the end of the day. Stop being weird. Just stop. Just leave people alone. Just leave people alone. If you really want a picture that bad, just wait. Just time and place.
Yeah, just even being more it's just being respectful too. It seems like a lot of people, they're just like entitled to do it. It's not like hey Bailey, I would love to get a picture with you. I'm a huge fan. Like do you have a second? Do you have a word? Like it's about the approach, but it's not like, hey Pam,
Yeah.
Pamela.
Hey Pamela, like I want you to
like,
sign this.
What are we doing?
Yeah. Like, what are we doing at the end of the day? And it's just, go ahead, Drew.
It's like with that thing we were talking about a few weeks ago with that fan with Stephanie Vaquer, where she was like, I kept trying to get your attention and you wouldn't show me any attention, so I hate you. Yeah. And it's like, real, like, are you forgetting the part where you're being a fucking creep and a weirdo about it? And you're
again, I don't want to offend that particular fan, but that fan seemed like he was special. They should have had someone there that could have been like, no, this is not the right time and the right place. But still, really no excuse. But it's like these people, like the one that grabbed Elena Black, and it seems like these people are very, very, they know exactly what they're doing.
Aware.
They're very aware of what they're doing. And
that's also to be fair, don't most wrestling fans are mentally unwell?
No, you're not what I'm hearing.
I said most. I didn't say all of them. Most.
No, but what I'm saying. Well, okay. Well, I guess I'm not mentally well. Then I need to go get Social Security.
I said most, not all of them. I said okay. We're the fan.
Most is 90%. I mean, I doubt that we're if most is 90%, two of us is in here is immensely unwell. I
mean, to be fair, we can all be mentally unwell for different reasons. I'm talking about the ones who are like, I'm gonna pray and be a predator on people.
Right. I'm saying the one with Seth Vaquer, he was special needs. Like it seems like he was special needs. Again, not an excuse, but like it's like, damn, like someone should have like told him this is not the right time, right place, like whatever. These guys, especially the guy with CM Punk, he seemed like he was like a family. He had like a family of 5 or whatever it is, right? Just like a normal dude, right? Seems like he was very, very aware of what he's doing. And
he was a cunt, in other words.
Yeah. well, sure, yeah, we can use that, but I will say this, and this is the follow-up question here that I want to ask. What's the answer? Because us saying like, oh, fans shouldn't do this, we know that they're gonna keep doing it. What's the solution for this to not happen as much?
I don't think there is. And unfortunately, this is going to keep happening unless like there's like stronger security. That's kind of the best way to maybe the only logical one, because I know MJF put up a tweet where he's like, I think it's time for wrestlers to start hitting fans. I'm like, again, you're probably in gimmick, but no, that's just going to make things worse. Again, I think stronger security measures is probably the only logical, realistic solution.
So I will say this. I agree with you, Drew. Stronger security measures, especially for WrestleMania weekend. There should be security that should be attached to a certain number of individuals. WWE and TKO, they can pay for it, but guess what? You want to know why that's not going to happen? Because WWE and TKO is not going to pay for it. They're not going to pay for that stuff because they're very, 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 very cheap on what they do. They want to save, and take. They want to save, and they want to take. They want to take your money. They want to, take everything, take everything from you, but they don't want to give their talent the proper security. What if one of these guys has a weapon? Very extreme, very low chance. But what if one of these guys had a weapon on them? Then what?
Yeah.
Then what happens?
Or also, for the women, women again. I'm gonna sound like a liberal white guy. A lot of the women, I can imagine how terrified they are having to deal with this shit.
Especially the women. Yeah. So Booker T, he was, walked through the MGM Grand, went to the restroom. Guy was recording him in the restroom. Talked about Drew McIntyre already. Talked about Royce Keys already as well. It just seems like it seemed very, very bad over the weekend for him. And I think going forward, that if the talent is complaining about it, I think that there has to be some type of security measures that have to be looked at going forward, in my opinion. But we'll see what happens with that. But any closing thoughts about this before we move on to WrestleMania?
Do better, fans.
Yep.
Just leave people alone at the end of the day. Like time and place. Don't be weird. Like keep that shit on Twitter. Keep that shit on Reddit. Like, when it comes to real life, like that's not cute. That's not funny. That's not entertaining. It's not a gimmick. It's just weird. And for those true fans out there, I'm kind of sounding like Sami Zayn, but the true fans out there, just keep showing that how respectful actual decent human beings can be when approaching wrestlers or athletes and all that. Like don't it's just a shame that you have these weirdos just muddying the waters. And of course, again, like I was mentioning earlier, human nature. That's this thing. You're always gonna have these cretins of society, these troglodytes. So you just gotta just be aware of that, folks.
Yeah.
And respect women too.
Yeah. Well, moving on to WrestleMania, and I'll hand over to you, Drew, here after this to go through all the card and everything here. But I think we'll be remiss to say that WrestleMania overall had its ups, had its downs from both nights, right? But I think the thing that we can all agree on with WrestleMania over the course of 2 nights was the time construction of the show itself. And man, it's crazy. It's crazy. So WrestleMania night 1 and night 2, not including the pre-show. You want to know how long it was together for night 1 and night 2? If y'all had to guess,
night 1 was like 86 minutes, I think.
No. I'm talking about the total show.
No, I know what you meant. I was just kind of remembering that night 1 was like fucking short.
So 86. So 86 minutes is only an hour and 16 minutes.
Hour and
26 minutes. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not accurate. If you had to combine, Ruben, night 1 and night 2, like how long you think the total amount for WrestleMania was?
Like, you mean just the show from start to
The
finish?
show from the national anthem to the end credits that you saw. If
I
you had
mean,
to combine them together on how long it was. If it was one long show, so let's say WrestleMania was one long show, like how long you think that would have been, more or less? Not to be perfect, but just a guess.
3.5 hours, give or take, like in total, because it felt really short. Night 2 ended really early. So yeah, like 3.5, some change. Like,
so 3.5 for both nights.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think, Drew?
Maybe like 3.5 hours.
Okay, so WrestleMania night 1 and night 2 combined together for a total of 7 hours and 28 minutes. It does not include the pre-show or the post-show. Okay. It breaks down like this: 6 minutes, 38 seconds for pre-match activity, wherever that means. So if it's like wherever that is, I don't know exactly what they mean by that, by pre-match activity. 8 minutes and 25 seconds intro. So like the intro to the show itself.
Yeah.
17 minutes and 10 seconds for promos. So that could be video packages, whatever the case may be. 43 minutes and 21 seconds for post-match activity. So like the thing like with Brock Lesnar, the thing with everything else that was afterwards, right? So I'm pretty sure Brock Lesnar took a big chunk of that. 1 hour, 27 minutes, 52 seconds. Ads.
Jeez.
Yep.
So
I mentioned at the start of the broadcast, like literally it's a showcase of the commercials. Like we've seen more commercials than we've seen wrestling, and it's insane how like we went from having video packages, entrances, a wrestling match, and then posts, and then you moved on to the next, match, promo, so on and so forth. Now it's just commercials, then little video package, and then the match, entrances, then the match, and then just it feels like we're watching one big infomercial, and then we're just getting inconvenienced with wrestling. It's just like wrestling is secondary.
So yeah, so you know how usually when you watch something like a sporting event or even in this case wrestling, right? Usually the ads is the break from the wrestling, right?
Yeah.
Well, this is the wrestling. Wrestling is the break from the ads.
Yeah.
The actual in-ring wrestling is the break from the ads. So, entrances is 1 hour, 57 minutes, and 30 seconds. And the total match time from the bell ring to bell ending is 2 hours, 47 minutes, and 4 seconds. If you combine the ads and the entrances together, that alone surpasses the match time.
And that's just Randy. That was just Randy Orton's entrance.
Yeah. Randy Orton had longer entrance than the Undertaker, Roman Reigns combined.
His entrance was longer. His entrance was longer than Stephanie and Liv's match.
Yeah.
Literally, his entrance was longer than their match.
Yeah.
That's incredible. That's incredible. But yeah, wanted to break that down because I know we were probably gonna bring that up, and the ads really, to me, really killed this show overall, especially night 1. But yeah, that was WrestleMania broken down in time. So Drew, I'll leave it to you. Let's go over the card.
So WrestleMania 42, night 1 and night 2 are both in Paradise, Nevada, at the Allegiant Stadium. Night 1 drew 50,816 people. Night 2 drew 55,256 people.
Which is bullshit, by the way.
I'm just going by what's on Wikipedia. Combined it is 106,072 people.
Bullshit.
Like Justin mentioned, the numbers, it's possible, could be not accurate. Anyways, night one, the first match was the first two matches were on ESPN2. The first one was the
how did y'all like that, by the way? Like,
I
did y'all watch it on ESPN at all? Because y'all didn't.
I did.
Nope. Netflix, Netflix VPN combo.
Oh, okay. I watched it on ESPN2. It was good. It was good on there. There was no commercial interruptions outside of the. So whenever it went to commercial, like on the main broadcast, like on regular ESPN, that's when it went to commercial on ESPN2. It was ahead. It was ahead by like 30 seconds. So if you were watching on ESPN, it was, it was ahead by 30 seconds. There was really no issues. I thought the broadcast sounded great to me on both nights. So I really had no personal issues with that. But one more thing I want to bring up too, because I was watching night one on the ESPN app at the shop. I went to go get something to eat. I went to go get, I was very busy in the shop. It was like we had a big weekend there with the event, an anime event. And so I was like, okay, well, let me take it on my phone so I can watch on ESPN too. So when the the unsanctioned match was happening, I took on my phone, went with me. When I got back to the shop, it went back to the speed match. And what I learned and I understand when I was watching is that when I was watching on the ESPN app, like it'll go through commercials, then it will take you back to the previous match without you knowing. I don't know if you're watching on Netflix, Ruben. Yeah. I'm assuming you did the same thing, Drew.
Yeah, well, it's funny you say that because Mish from Wrestling Soup, he said the same thing. He said he got the ESPN app for Mania, and he said it kept rewinding back to the previous match after.
You're not touching the rewind, but I never seen that before on any app before. Like it took it, it automatically took it back right after the commercial. Like it took it back to the previous match. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Like House is the same thing happened to him.
Yeah, it's like what are we doing? But I wanted to mention that too as well, in case if Talking Point just gets picked up anywhere, we don't know. But yeah, that's complete malpractice on ESPN's end.
It's not good, especially you're paying $30 a month to watch the PLEs on. Like that's
thank
that's
God
not
I don't
good.
have to do that.
But Ruben, what kind of VPN do you have?
I have Proton VPN.
I have never heard of that.
It's pretty good, and it's like actually secure. Like they don't log your they don't log your information. So
okay,
pretty good.
I have Nord.
Okay,
it's pretty good. I was hearing Mish saying that a bunch of other people with VPNs were having trouble, like because Netflix was blocking them. But
I hear that I heard about there's a lot out there, but the browser that you guys are talking about, apparently that has a VPN too, a Brave.
Yeah, Brave, has one.
Yeah, but I heard that's not good either.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, Nord, I think Nord, and I don't the one that Ruben just mentioned, I never heard of that, but I was hearing Nord is probably the better one to get because that doesn't really cause problems. But yeah, I mean, I wasn't having problems on the Netflix feed. No lagging, no buffering or anything. But anyway,
with WrestleMania too as well. Before we get into the actual card itself, just three questions here. What were your guys' favorite? What you guys thought about the set, the overall set? I thought it was a downgrade from last year, but I didn't think it was like terrible. I thought it was okay for what it was.
It was all right.
No, it was fine. It was like average to me. Like for a WrestleMania stage, that's not good. Like
yeah, it's not great for a WrestleMania stage. I think it looked better for the wrestlers when they came out there.
Mm-hmm.
Versus as a fan, like watching it on TV. When they had like the behind shots, I'm like, seeing the wrestlers point of view, I'm like, oh man, this does look pretty cool. But it didn't look like great or anything. So what was y'all's favorite attire from out of anybody from WrestleMania?
I'm going to think about that.
Well, one person wasn't wrestling, but Roxanne Perez, her
For obvious
outfit,
reasons.
obvious reasons.
I can't comment on that. I can't comment on that. That's like
Respectfully,
she's like a little sister, so I can't really comment on
okay.
that.
Respectfully, of course,
Right.
respectfully. And who else? You
For
have
me, it's Finn. Like
Finn, yeah, like Finn and his.
I'm a sucker for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, Finn seeing Finn Balor, you know, and the Demon was
either it's Finn for me or it's let me think. Oh, you know what? No, it wasn't Finn. Penta, Shao Kahn.
Yeah,
like,
Shao
come
Kahn,
on.
yeah, Shao
Like,
Kahn.
oh,
Penta,
that was incredible.
yeah,
That was incredible. His attire was fucking incredible. So
I thought Rhea looked good. And
Rhea good, look good too. Yeah, absolutely.
Penta looked cool. Rey Mysterio coming out looking like Deadpool.
Yeah, Deadpool. Yeah, that was pretty cool too as well.
That was kind of funny. You know, it was great seeing Finn as the Demon again.
Yeah. Which leads me to this favorite entrance. Last question. Favorite entrance. Mine is gonna be Finn because that's just yeah. Mine's gonna be Finn for sure. Seth Rollins was really cool as well.
Yeah, Seth was pretty cool. Finn. Say Punk and Roman. I mean,
Punk's was the whole package of everything was very cool too. Yeah,
him on top of the stadium was pretty dope.
Hearing the AFI theme was fucking dope. I love it.
Yeah. Now I wonder how much money they had to pay for the rights for that, because I know Tony Khan has that.
I know. I also I like Cody's as well. This year with the all gold nightmare skull looked pretty cool. At one point, I thought he was gonna come out there as Guile. For some reason, I thought he was gonna come out there as Guile. For some strange reason, I thought he was gonna come out as Guile. I was like, oh no, I don't want to see that.
I mean, I'd rather see that, to be honest. Him coming out as Guile.
Yeah, that entrance thing was kind of weird, where it's like showing the different Cody attires.
They like that. I like that.
It
kind of came off as very cheap and uninspired to me.
It kind of reminded me of Triple H's entrances, very grandiose and self-absorbed to me. Like I saw that and I was like, Like when I saw it, I was like, yeah, he's winning. So he's winning.
Yeah. The night one entrances, I thought it didn't seem like a lot of thought went into them, or a lot of money. Like the night two just seemed like there was more money and thought going into the entrance.
Trick Williams with the long train behind him.
That long ass CVS receipt of a dress or whatever the fuck.
CVS receipt. Was there like
I'll say Costco. I was gonna say Costco.
Someone made a meme saying that it looks like a CVS receipt. I was like,
oh, okay, gotcha.
That's funny. Let me ask you all something. I know we're kind of jumping ahead. How did you guys feel about AJ Lee's entrance with all the little kids?
I thought it was fine. There wasn't anything. I didn't find anything wrong with that.
It was fine. I mean, like it wasn't offensive.
I mean, it's kind of like similar to what Bianca Belair did a couple years ago too.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't bother me. It was kind of, I wasn't expecting it, but it didn't bother me. There's people that thought it was kind of weird. I'm like, I don't really think it's weird. It's random, but it's not weird.
Yeah.
So,
all right. Take over.
All right. Take over. Not NXT, but I'm going to take over. The first match was the Usos and LA Knight, versus the Vision with IShowSpeed and a 6-man tag. This match accomplished everything it needed to accomplish. I thought IShowSpeed didn't look bad out there. Again, another one of these celebrities that somehow comes in and makes it look, effortless, so to speak. But yeah, IShowSpeed, I think he gets it. He gets facials, he gets selling, and he kind of knows what the crowd is looking for. So, and then in the end, the faces won, like we all kind of expected. I think it was you, Justin, that called it that Theory was going to take the pin.
No.
And afterwards, Logan Paul turned on IShowSpeed, and then the faces came in and saved him. And then IShowSpeed got to have his holy shit moment at Mania by doing a frog splash onto Logan Paul on the table. So that's yeah. But what'd you guys think?
It was a match. It was only built for IShowSpeed to do the splash during the table, which in my opinion should happen during the match, not after the match, but whatever. I wasn't offended by it, but 7 minutes. All right.
7 minutes and 8 seconds.
I did not care for this match. Like post match, what was really like the centerpiece of of this whole match.
Right.
Like what happened during the match wasn't consequential. What happened afterwards was, and they needed a viral moment, and they got it with IShowSpeed. And I don't hate IShowSpeed. I just think that that spot could have been used for it could have been another match could have been placed there.
Right.
But they needed a celebrity tie-in, and it's crazy. I don't know if you guys heard Kyrie and Asuka had gear made for Mania just in case they're gonna have a match. And I'm like, you couldn't have a match with EO and Asuka out there. Like, anyway, it's just I didn't care for the match. It was just a match that could have been on Monday Night Raw, to be honest.
Sure.
No, I mean, I didn't care for it either. I mean, I was just kind of making the point of like, hey, it accomplished everything it needed to accomplish. But if you had to like put a gun to my head, I'd be like, I would have rather seen EO and Asuka on the card. Like that's a match that should have happened. Like Justin says, EO not being on the WrestleMania card is malpractice.
It's fucking malpractice.
And she was world champion last year going
She had the
into.
best
I mean, if you want to say she was a Vegas had it,
But I'll say this: like, we knew where this was going. Like, EO is just a stepping stone for Rhea, because now Rhea is champion and EO's sidekick. And people were saying, no, this is good. I know we're jumping ahead, but no, this is good for EO. No, like we know, like smart people know, they're aware of what they're doing because they want Rhea to be on top. No pun intended. They want her as champion. So I knew this was gonna happen, and it's a shame because EO's like one of the best on the women's roster. And you wouldn't know it because she's not being booked correctly, but it's like it's insane, just malpractice all around. Yeah.
All right. Next is you have Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre in an unsanctioned match. I thought this match was a little rushed. That's kind of what I was, aiming at. We're talking about the ESPN coverage where it's on TV and it's not on streaming, so of course there's going to be time constraints, and we kind of knew that going in. But I think this match should have gotten more time. Towards the end of the match, when they're getting to the big spot, my sister-in-law, who's not as, I guess, intertwined with wrestling as we are, where we notice things, she noticed, I can kind of tell that they were rushing,
right.
with that final spot with Jacob. And I'm like, yep, they're definitely rushing. I also could have gone for more brutality. I'm not saying blood because, we got blood in the main event. But maybe just a little bit more savagery. Maybe all in all, I wish the match was longer. I think the match could have benefited from being longer. But Jacob won, and I'm happy because I like Jacob. Drew, I've already accepted the fact that his job is pin me, pay me. Well, I shouldn't say pin me, pay me, but his job is to put over, bigger stars, which sucks because I think Drew is a star, but it is what it is. But Jacob won. That's good. He has bigger and better things that are happening. That are waiting for him in the future. So, but what you guys think?
They should have changed this match out with like Becky versus AJ. I think the fact that the women didn't get an ESPN match is kind of whatever. I think Becky and AJ could have benefited here. As far as this match is concerned, fine match, but it didn't live up to being unsanctioned.
No.
Like, what was the difference between this match and Dom versus Finn Balor?
I think Dom versus Finn Balor was paced better.
You're not hearing what I'm saying. What's the actual difference between, like, one was a street fight, one was an unsanctioned match? Did one felt different than the other?
Nope, they felt the same.
They felt exactly the same.
Literally the same
like
match.
this didn't feel like this match wasn't supposed to happen. This felt like a regular hardcore match.
Yeah.
I didn't get the sense the fact that they hated each other in this match.
No.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I meant by the savagery. It's just like the storyline going in is that they both hate each other, like you mentioned, and it just felt really rushed and kind of by the numbers.
Wasn't well. I mean, they had what, like 15 minutes, whatever it was. So like it wasn't, it wasn't a very short match. This was one of the longer matches of the weekend, but also at the same time as well, like it just didn't really hit the way it's supposed to. Not a bad match, but it didn't hit the way it was supposed to at the end of the day. And it just felt like a regular hardcore match, a regular street fight, wherever you want, a no holds barred. And we talk about this all the time. There's really no difference between those match types. Really no difference. It's just the name, it's just how they're branding it. Like when I watch an unsanctioned match in AEW, I know that there's gonna be some shit that's gonna go down. You know what I mean? Like that warrants the unsanctioned name. This didn't warrant the unsanctioned name at all. So, I mean, very predictable. Jacob Fatu winning. Drew McIntyre, he's gonna be doing his Highlander shit, and now we see where Jacob Fatu is going now too. So it makes even more sense on why Jacob won. So,
Ruben.
Felt like a SmackDown match. No difference between the street fight that Finn and Dom had. Just literally just felt rushed. And yeah, just another SmackDown match. But at least, Jacob won, and he's on to as we will talk about if we have time, he's on to bigger and better things on Raw now. So yep.
I mean, I will say this too as well. WrestleMania Night 1 felt like a lower version of Saturday Night's main event.
Pre-show felt like a pre-show, literally.
Yeah, not like necessarily. I wouldn't go that far, but it felt like a low Saturday Night's main event. Like nothing on this show felt important. Not one match felt important at all to the standards of a WrestleMania. None of it felt important.
It just felt rushed. Like nothing. Like these matches had little to no story behind them, and then the ones that did have story, they didn't take advantage, they didn't capitalize. They just figured the match is going to sell themselves. Well, no, like you need a reason for people to watch,
right?
And you had all this time to book these, to have build these stories so that way people can anticipate them when the time comes. And they didn't do that. They just had them out there, brawled some more, and then on top of that, just brawled. So it just felt like this is the result. Right. No care, no attention. That's what you get. This one I stand by is one big pre-show. Is one big pre-show night 1.
Also, for an unsanctioned match, shouldn't they like fight out into the crowd, or did I miss that?
No,
I think they fall around ringside. That's about it.
Yeah, just ringside, in the ring, and ringside.
But I mean, if they have only 13, 14 minutes, I mean, you can't really go out into the crowd and do much anyway. So,
Yes. They should have just made a steel cage match.
No.
I think that would have made more sense.
Jacob Fatu was in a steel cage match last year, and we know how that went. That was one of the worst matches of WrestleMania.
Wait, what was his match?
Him and Solo?
That was WrestleMania?
Who did he go up against last year?
LA Knight.
He did a moonsault on top of the cage last year, no?
No, he wrestled LA Knight last year.
Was that SummerSlam I'm thinking about?
was probably SummerSlam.
May have been SummerSlam because Jacob in LA.
No, it was. All right, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
He was just in a steel cage match, though. But I still didn't want to see it regardless. But I mean, I'll put it this way: it wouldn't matter what the fuck you would have put in. It wouldn't have lived up to anything because of creative.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have mattered.
And it's funny now. People are saying that, man, with what we got the main event, I think we should have had the Fatal 4-Way. The Fatal 4-Way would have wouldn't have sounded too bad. Like you had these two matches, and one of them just felt flat, and the other one was just terrible. So I really think they could have with.
And I could have added maybe EO and and someone else into the WrestleMania card, EO and Oscar, maybe,
Yeah, just had the Fatal 4-Way. You could have still had, I mean, I wouldn't recommend it, but they'll still probably have, they could have had that Pat McAfee or whoever involved, and I don't know, have like every TKO executive on, have a TKO executive on every corner type deal for that. I don't know, something. Something is better than what we got.
No, but they probably would have found a way to put, like, I don't know, Stephen A. Smith in a match against I don't fucking know, Penta.
A Jelly Roll, Cody's corner. Randy will have what's his name? Pat McAfee. Stephen A. Smith would have been with McIntyre, and who would have had would have been in Jacob's corner.
Shannon Sharp.
I mean, might as well. Like, it's Celebrity Mania, it's Commercial Mania. Like,
which that'd be funny. That'd be entertaining to have.
I would watch that. I'll pay money for that. Like, that's better than what we got this weekend with night one. So,
but those are the two. Sorry, I had to cough. ESPN matches. So I guess going to the non-ESPN matches. Fatal 4-Way for the WWE
non-free ESPN matches, I will say.
The non-free matches.
Yeah, because it's not on ESPN, but
for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships, you have Bayley and Lyra Valkyria, Alexa Bliss, and Charlotte Flair. The Irresistible Forces, Nia Jackson, Lash Legend, who come out paying homage to Demolition.
Yeah, I like their entrance. I like their entrance gear.
And then Brie Bella and Nikki Bella came out, and we talked about last week that Nikki Bella apparently was hurt, and there was a possibility that they might replace the Bellas. But that was not the case, because on Friday it was announced that Paige had signed back with WWE, and she, surprise, surprise, came in as the replacement for Nikki along with Brie. So Paige is back in WWE. She got a big reaction, as you can imagine, which, good for Paige. It's good that she kind of got her shit together and just, decided maybe I don't want to constantly be in the news for the wrong reasons. So, now she's back. She looks good. A lot of her offense looked decent. I mean, granted, she had good people in the ring to work with. So, but as we all can imagine, Paige and Brie Bella are now the new women's tag team champions. So the match itself was what it was. It was a match. Probably could have been on ESPN, in my opinion, but again, good for Paige.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm happy for Paige. Happy that she's back in the WWE. It's a great moment. Great moment for her. In her situation there. As far as the match itself, didn't give a fuck about the match itself. Women worked hard. They all worked hard in there, but as far as the match, I just was not really invested into it. Other than being like 6 minutes long or however long the hell this match was, but
8 minutes and 33 seconds.
Yeah, very, very, very. I am happy for Paige though. Happy that she's back with the company, and she definitely seems to be in the right place. So happy for her.
Yeah, basically echo what Justin said. Didn't care for the match. I felt like, besides Paige, Paige looked good out there. She still was fluid, and she's like 32, 33 years old. So it's like, yeah, like she still has at least like another like 8-10 years left on her career, so like she was good out there. Besides that, um, didn't care. Like it was a lot of like botches. It was like a botch heavy, unfortunately, and yeah, just not like this match didn't move me. Besides Paige working out there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Singles match for the Women's Intercontinental Championship: Becky Lynch versus AJ Lee. Becky came out with her band. I think it was called the Wonder Years. Not the TV show, but the band.
What would you do when I love that show?
Sing out to, would you step out and walk on me? Yeah. Yeah, the band, the Wonder Years, singing Becky out to her.
Were they singing? They weren't singing a goddamn thing according to my eyes and ears.
There were very bad lip syncing.
Yeah,
I noticed that too.
It was awful.
Yeah.
That's what she's into. And then AJ Lee came out with a bunch of little girls dressed up as her skipping to the ring. So the match was fine. I don't want to say fine. It was good. I mean, because both know how to work with each other. It's just a part of me didn't really care about the match. I'll be honest, because like I feel like I've seen these two wrestle before, and they already have wrestled each other twice. So it's like we've gotten AJ Lee back, and in the time she's been back, outside of Becky, she's only really wrestled Bailey, and that seems like a feud.
Did she have Lyra too? Did she wrestle Lyra or no?
No.
Okay.
And it's like I'm happy that AJ Lee's back, but it's like I want to see her with other talent. But she's been stuck with Becky this whole time. And yeah, the matches are fine, but I'm kind of happy that the feud's done. And we all suspected that Becky was going to win because Becky's full time and AJ's part time. And then also AJ said in an aftermatch interview that she's going to be out for a while. So surprise. But Becky won after fuckery, and there you go.
Oof. Yeah, I just didn't care about this match. We've seen it a few times, and just the fact that we had Becky struggling against Maxine Dupree, and then just going to this, like this feud could have benefited from Becky just holding on to the belt instead of AJ winning for the shock value, just for her to drop it. Like, and then while she was champion, she only had that one match with Bailey, which that one was good. That match was good. Like that match, like they went out there and they really went ham. So it's a shame. Like I think that feud with Bailey could have been like that was potential that we may not get. But as far as the match is concerned, I just didn't care. I mean, I knew Becky was walking out with the belt again. It was only fitting. And yeah, just not much. Hopefully Becky can feud not with Maxine Dupree. God no. Just get some fresh faces, please. Get some interesting feuds going with Becky because it's Becky Lynch. And whoever's facing her in theory should have a good feud, but it's just creative stifling things once again. But yeah, just didn't really care about the match. More about the finish with Jessica Carr, which she is a wrestler, so I think there's.
I did like that was the thing that I liked the most. I thought it was a good touch.
Yeah, that part I liked. That the ending I liked, but just the match in general is not like I just didn't care for it. But I assume they're gonna have a match. Like Jessica is gonna wrestle Becky one day. Like I would assume.
All right.
Well, to me, this match had no heat. I didn't care. Not a bad match. Very short. Another 7-minute match. Which is the issue with this WrestleMania. These short ass fucking matches. Didn't give a fuck. Don't care. But
yep.
Becky winning was the right decision. Right booking decision.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, don't really I don't really have any emotional attachment to it. So they worked hard. They did work. They went out there and they worked hard, but is what it is.
All right. Next is Gunther versus Seth Rollins in a singles match. Seth Rollins coming out with black contacts, and he's wearing a smoking jacket for some reason. I thought it would have been funny if Gunther was like, you expect me to wrestle him? He's on fire. It's like, you need to worry about my safety. That would have been funny if Gunther did that, but that didn't happen. But and then I guess 2 seconds, seconds into the match, Seth takes off his fucking contacts. I'm like, I don't know why that was funny, but it was just funny. But the match itself was good. I mean, I think we all suspected that the match was going to be good because it's Gunther, who is essentially kind of like the perfect wrestler. And Seth Rollins, for all his faults, he could still go out there and produce and have a good match. It's just, again, this is kind of the theme with a lot of these Mania matches, especially night one, is that this match had no heat. I mean, it had a story, quote unquote, but it was a really rushed story because, they weren't sure when Seth was going to make it back in time. And they weren't sure when Braun was going to make it back in time, which, spoilers, he did. And that spot kind of annoyed me too, because the camera angle is what really gave it away, because the camera immediately cut to the entranceway, which was empty, near the ring, and then you see Braun running and spearing the shit out of Seth. So they fucked up the camera angle on that, to which Gunther wins, and then Seth taps out. And that's kind of another thing where it's just like Gunther needed help to beat Seth, which again, we all knew Braun was coming out to screw Seth, but whatever.
Right.
And then afterwards, Braun goes for another spear, but then botches the spear by only getting half of Seth's hip or whatever the fuck. So
just clipped him.
Yeah, I mean, he was running at full force, and then he clips him. It was the most underwhelming shit. But again, it's good to see Braun back. The match was good. I mean, it probably could have been better, but it's a Gunther match, so it's always going to be a good match. I think the worst match Gunther could have is just okay. In this case, it was good. So.
Well, I'll say that it was more than good. I thought this was the third best match of the WrestleMania weekend, in my opinion. I thought this was a great wrestling match overall. I didn't like the ending, but this was properly timed. They got the proper time in the match that they deserved. And, could have been a 5-star match. Could have been. It's not a 5-star match, but, I definitely think it's a 4.5-star match. And to me, that's a great match. I thought what these two did in here was pretty damn good for a WrestleMania match. So this was, to me, the only thing that really felt close enough to a WrestleMania match out of all of night one. So
good.
This match, I'll say almost saved night one, because this match coming in didn't have much heat, coming into it either. That's the running theme with, no pun intended, with Mania night one, just ice cold. Right. And they went out there, had a good match, and of course, you had two guys out there that can wrestle, that could tell a story. But with what they were given creatively, it just did not save this match. And yeah, of course, we knew Braun was coming out. Come on, we know this. He was coming out there and cause a distraction to help Gunther, win. And then post match, that botch, all that build up, getting all that speed, and he was running fast. Right. I saw a clip of someone taking video of Braun just running past the field of view and just zipping down the ramp. So he was running fast, and just all that, and he just clipped Seth. It's just, not good. But he made up for it Monday night, so there's that. But yeah, just fine match, but just not enough for me overall. Like, it was a good match, but it wasn't enough for me.
Yep. And all right. So moving on, for the Women's World Championship, you have Stephanie Vaquer versus Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan coming out to her new theme song, Trouble.
Great
Cool.
entrance.
Yeah. The match itself, again, short, 6 minutes and 51 seconds. The reason, allegedly, the reason behind why the match was so short was because both women were banged up heading into Mania, which I can kind of buy that because heading in, I think it's more Liv than Stephanie, because Liv was getting her ass beat like almost every single week.
She didn't wrestle like she was banged up though.
Yeah, like she had that giant like knot on her head that Stephanie gave her.
She was fucking doing fucking code breakers from the top rope, and I mean she didn't wrestle like she was like super hurt. So
right, but again, I'm just kind of going by what I heard. But I mean, the match itself was fine. I think it could have used more time, but that's kind of the story with a lot of these matches. Not to jump ahead to Raw, it looks like they're continuing the feud, so good. Stephanie is someone that it's like I think they rushed her into that spot. And they really could have taken their time.
And that was one of the things I mentioned too. I was like, why is Stephanie becoming champion already? It's like, what, like when she loses the title, what are you gonna do with her? Like she's gonna immediately go down the totem pole. That's the same reason why I don't want Obafemi to win immediately, because it's wrestling. It's gonna be the same thing. You're gonna be pushed up very early unless you're gonna have a long fucking title reign. Once you lose the belt, you just go back down, and it's like, oh shit, well, that was that. So let's see what they're gonna do with Stephanie now. She's gonna go up against Liv Morgan. Then she's gonna lose. Then what? What she's gonna do? She's gonna be Becky for the Intercontinental title. Oh yeah, that's a great position. Oh yeah, great position for Stephanie right there.
That's what she should have started.
You know what I mean? Yeah, should have been reversed.
Feuding for the IC, and then work her way.
It should have been her going up against Becky at WrestleMania instead of AJ Lee.
Yeah.
Agreed.
What do I know?
That would have meant more for Stephanie. That would have meant so much more for Stephanie, and also it probably would have meant more for Becky in some ways.
I don't understand the rush of rushing these wrestlers up to a certain position. It's like, let's calm down. Let's think before we react to something. Like, let's, but whatever.
And also, let me ask both of y'all something. Do you think this title win really means anything for Liv?
Not necessarily. It just pans her resume, but I think she's in a better position where she not necessarily needs the title, but Raw needs the title on her, I will say.
Okay.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Like, she doesn't need it, but the fact that they fumbled, like, basically they're admitting that they fumbled with Stephanie because they rushed her to the title picture too soon.
Yeah.
So now they got to rectify their mistake by giving the belt to Liv. And then since she's with the Judgment Day, and they're still, they get multiple segments a week and all that. And then there's potential story with Liv and Raquel. Then they're going to do that down the line. So they're already planting seeds. But I mean, with how long they took to get Finn, kicked out of the Judgment Day, I think that they're probably going to take another like 3 years for Raquel to break away from the Judgment Day and turn on Liv and get the belt. So it's like
there's so much more that they can do with Liv as champion versus Stephanie right now.
Yeah, it's just right there. And again, like what we were mentioning just moments ago, is malpractice. And this match, with how short it was, it just proved like, we don't have faith. And like, you did all this pageantry and grandiose things with Stephanie, and then when you have her be champion, they didn't do much with her. And it's like, because they knew they rushed her too quickly. They should have just had her built up and then get a mid-card title, built that up, and then she'll drop it to somebody, maybe to Raquel,
Right.
right? And then once Stephanie drops the IC belt to Raquel, then she can contest for the main title, and then you
Right.
can have Vaquer and Judgment Day go at it, have a little combination of that, and then she'll get the world title. But they just did not do that. They went backwards, and now it's gonna be harder to swim up.
Nope.
Swim.
If
up
if
more.
if EO is barely game by right now in the main roster, EO,
Yeah,
what do you think Stephanie Vaquero is going to experience right now?
yeah,
Once she loses to Liv Morgan again,
she's just gonna be.
I love Stephanie, but I'm just calling a spade a spade. I'm calling facts. It's like
Yeah.
they need to do a better job of not rushing whoever it is. Trick Williams, they're actually doing the right thing. They didn't rush him to the fucking world championship. What does he do? He wins the United States championship. Like, they're doing the right thing with Trick Williams right now. They need to do the right thing with Obafemi. Do not have Obafemi beat Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. No. That's a WrestleMania match. That's a moneymaker.
That's
You
a
don't want to
money
do that.
match right there. That's a money
have
match.
Have him go through some advert. And even at that, depending on the story, I don't even think, depending on what the story is, right? I don't even think Oba should win at WrestleMania next year if that's the plan.
Yeah.
Save it, build it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's gonna be fine because Oba needs to go through some adversity eventually. You can't just have him win. Eventually, the fans are gonna get tired of it. The people love Obafemi right now, but you know what happens with wrestling fans when you get too much of what you want, you rebel. Like, oh, I'm game bored of this. Let's who's next?
Look at Cody. Look at Cody, for example. The whole we want Cody. He didn't win at 39. And when he got the belt at 40, it was a good moment. But after that, he kept winning and winning.
Soon as he won at 40, maybe a month after that, people started to, little by little turn on Cody.
Yeah. And it was one thing if he won, he won. He didn't, they didn't capitalize. They didn't have any, just Kevin Owens. That's it. That was the only good feud. And then after that, it was just random matches. There's nothing of meaning. And then if they had something there, they didn't capitalize on it. So it's like they need to be careful of who they push too soon, because we're seeing it with Stephanie. We're seeing it. And also look at with the IC picture, you see with the experiment that was Maxine Dupree, and look, like that was a failure. It was like, oh, just have a moment, have her win. I don't hate her. I don't wish her any ill will, but it's like it didn't work. And now she's on main event. So it's like, yeah, she's not ready. Y'all brought her up and you have her get the mid-card belt, and it was basically putting her down. And then you got to give the belt back to Becky, and then she drops it to AJ. Now she dropped it back to Becky. So it's like this whole convoluted mess of just booking just to have a moment. And they could benefit from slow burning a lot of these championship reigns.
Yep.
So, and as far as the Stephanie and Liv match, it was just too short. And I mean, Liv didn't look banged up to me.
She wrestled on Raw,
she wrestled on Raw. I mean,
a better match, by the way.
Yeah, that was a better that was
way
a
better
way
match.
better match. Yeah, Soruka and Liv, that was a better match than Mania. It's a shame when you have a better match on a Raw or a Raw after Mania versus having the match that you had on Mania itself. It says something, and it's a shame because we know how good Stephanie is. She's more than just wound material. The devil's kiss. Like we know she's more than that. We've seen her wrestle, but again, no story. When you saddle with no story, and that's why they went and nearly killed each other. Smashing Liv's head against the Roxanne, and then smashing her head against the flat screen, and
right.
brawling, all over. Like they did that because they had no story, and they had something, but it's just brawl, and brawl, and brawl again. So it's like that's on the fault of creative. They did what they thought was right because of what they were saddled with, which was nothing.
Right.
So they had to go out there and just literally kill each other. But hopefully we'll see the next couple months, because they're still high on Stephanie, but I think that they realized they fucked up, and they fucked up royally, and this match proved it with the lack of time that was given.
Speaking of fucked up royally, the main event: Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton.
Yeah.
Well,
Singles match for the Undisputed Championship.
before that, I mean, we had a surprise appearance from Miss Bianca Belair.
Oh yeah, she came out with John Cena. John Cena came out to announce the attendance, and then Bianca Belair came out and announced, "Oh, I got one more surprise." And yeah, apparently Montez, his pull-out game is not strong because Bianca Belair is now pregnant.
Yep. 6
Yeah,
months
I mean
pregnant.
that kind of explains on everything that we're talking about. Where's Bianca? Where's Bianca? Well, she's pregnant. She's far along too. She's like 6-7 months. So
Yeah.
so
And
that explains that.
And before anyone gets mad about me making that joke, Montez made that joke on social media.
Yeah, I saw his IG post. Yeah, no, but I knew she was pregnant. Like, I know she had a finger injury, but it's like, nah,
I didn't. That was one of my last things I thought, because I'm like, well, I don't think she would. I'm not saying that she didn't want to get pregnant, but like that wasn't like really like something I was thinking about. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, Bianca's pregnant. Oh, that's why she's not back. You know what I mean? But
yeah. But I had a feeling because, I don't know, just something about triple threat matches with EO and Rhea. And then you had a Naomi being pregnant, and then now you have Bianca being pregnant. So it's like, I think it's like a thing now. Like, it's just something in the air, which I'm happy. Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I made a joke to one of my customers saying that the WWE and Triple H ain't gonna push more black women because they keep getting pregnant.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, he ain't being the allegations after that.
Right.
If that's the case.
Right.
But yeah, like I mean, I'm happy. I'm happy for her. Someone made a meme of Bianca, and they put like an advertisement.
Right.
I think it was a Capital One or Credit One Bank, like on Bianca's belly. So I'm like, yeah, the TKO will do that.
I did see that.
Yeah, TKO will do that. Like, I could see them putting advertisement on that, because there was like, I would assume with they just showing all these ads just for the whole night and for the whole weekend, I would assume. But yeah, that was pretty funny. But yeah, congrats to Bianca and Montez. Pull-out game week, but it's all good. Like, she'll be back. The division will be fine. It just sucks because I wanted to see that finale with Naomi and Bianca, because oh man, that when they come back, once they come back, they're gonna definitely pick up where they left off, because that's gonna be the hot story for next year. That's gonna be the story for next year's Mania or SummerSlam.
Yeah, they must have got pregnant very similar times.
Yeah.
Because Naomi, how far along she's been out since what? September?
Yeah.
October, something like that. But they're very close and far along. So congratulations, Bianca. Happy for her. Happy for Montez. So.
Yep.
All right. Main event time: Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton, a singles match for the Undisputed WWE Championship. This match sucked.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna get right into it. The match was fucking terrible. It was very, very slow, very methodical. They basically nix a storyline mid-match with everything with and I'll talk about the beginning. So The stuff with Pat and Jelly Roll was probably the most reaction out of that whole match, and it was before the match where Jelly Roll did like he did the table spot with Pat, and then Pat gets carried out on the stretcher and he flicks off the crowd, and then he doesn't come back until later. And again, the least said about this match is there, so I'm just trying to wrap it up quickly because we're going over time. But he comes back in with a referee T-shirt, which would that have been a legal count since he wasn't an acting referee? So there you go. B, why if he wanted Randy to win, why didn't he count faster? Like I was thinking he would do a fast count, but he didn't. And then Cody kicks out, and then Randy RKO's him. So I'm like, okay, I guess that's the end of that storyline.
And you want to know another thing that really pissed me off.
Huh.
So Pat McAfee came back out there, right? Where was Jelly Roll?
Yeah,
No one's talking about that. Where was Jelly Roll?
Yeah.
He took out we thought, I took out Pat for good, and I'm going home. Like, no, he had to see him go back out there. This match was very ass backwards booking because they kind of teased a double turn, right?
Yeah.
Then Randy started to bleed and all that stuff as well, and then Cody started to bleed. Look, I didn't give a fuck. There was blood. Yay! Wow! Woo! Didn't give a fuck. Didn't help the match.
No.
Didn't enhance the match whatsoever. I think WWE allowed them to bleed because they know that this story is so fucked up. They're like, man, if you guys start bleeding, the fans will start liking this match. No. I'll put it to you this way: one of the worst WrestleMania matches of all time. One of the worst main events, I should say, of all time. For WrestleMania. And also I'll put this on top of this as well. One of the worst WrestleMania nights of all time.
Mm-hmm.
I gave WrestleMania Night 1 a 3 out of 10.
Oh,
Couple
that's
redeemable
nice.
things, but outside of that, it was a terrible show. They in this main event, they wanted to they booked it as for Cody to get heat on Randy's back, to sell his back. They came into the show saying that, if you heard the rumors, Randy's injured coming into this match, right? So they had Cody working his back as if they're going to do a double turn. Then all of a sudden, you had fucking Pat McAfee come back. He does the count. Randy hits an RKO on him. There's like, what the fuck is going on? Then Cody ends up winning anyway. And then after that, Randy gets the belt, hits him with the belt. Then he legitimately hits him in the, punts him in the eye, which Cody's eye was fucked up. You know what I mean? So, So, I don't know. Very, very bad. This felt, I'll put it this way. This felt like WCW 2000, not the good version. Not the good version of WCW 2000. This felt like the shitty version of WCW 2000. Yeah.
Yeah. But Ruben,
Lord, this match was terrible. 30 minutes with the entrances and the schmaz with Jelly Roll and Pat McAfee. 30 minutes because I counted. I was like, terrible. And then the match just was slow. It just felt like it was them underwater, like they were like lost. They didn't know where to go, what to do. And shame because we had two veterans out there. So
right,
it is definitely a result of just this terrible booking. And they just figured, let's just go out here, just try to salvage this. And yeah, and it's funny because Cody, he tends to, have these, in his matches, he tends to go and just act heelish. Like, taking advantage of the situation. You didn't do it. Like, it just felt like that's like the trope with, Cody's matches. So I just didn't care. It was just bad. Then the punt at the end of the match just didn't make any sense. Like, why would you do that after instead of doing it during the match? But whatever. This match will go down as one of the worst matches and one of the worst nights. And it's a shame because you have Randy Orton and you have Cody Rhodes in there, which are two good wrestlers, two good storytellers. And yeah, they went out there and just, stunk up the joint. And um, yeah, and then no surprise. Like we were expecting this big surprise, and I thought we was gonna get one. That didn't happen. So I guess the
Yeah, that's
surprise
the
was,
other thing too. It just went off the air like
yeah, just
with
out of
nothing.
nowhere. Yeah, just nothing. No angle, no big surprise, and yeah, bad. We need less of this. We need less of this. Some more storytelling. Yeah, just I gave night one a 2 out of 10.
Wow.
Just it was really bad.
I thought I was being harsh, but damn.
Yeah,
Yeah,
two out of 10.
it gets an Jesus Christ, it gets an F from me. Straight up, a big old F. But that was night one, so let's get to night two. Night two, there was two matches on regular old ESPN. The first one was Oba Femi versus Brock Lesnar, which we all kind of talked about it. Oba went over as he should have. A good showing for Oba. Very short, as you would have expected in a Brock match.
I think this was one of those times where it helped it being short. So
No, I totally get that. I'm fine. I was fine with the length. But yeah, the match was, a vehicle to get Oba over, and it worked. Brock worked on Oba for a bit, put him in Suplex City, gave him an F5, and then posed for a bit while Oba is gradually getting up, and then gives him a choke slam, and then gives him a fall from grace. 1, 2, 3. Oba wins, as he should have. As he's walking out, he does the motion of tipping off his cap to Brock, and then Brock takes off his boots and his gloves and leaves him in the middle of the ring. Hugs Paul Heyman, shakes hands with the fans, and it looks like Brock is officially done.
he's not done.
I
Okay.
think he's done.
I don't think he's done. I think he has one more match.
He threw up the X at Paul Heyman, letting us know that I was like legit, not part of any storyline.
Right.
Because I believe that they wanted him to go up against Gunther, and it's like, what is that gonna do? Like, you threw this guy everything, and then
I agree. By the
Yeah.
way, and I think that whatever they do with Brock versus Gunther, if that match does happen, it doesn't go past Oba and Brock. Like that's the top of the top, right?
Yeah.
But I personally think that there could still be one more match, because guess what? Guess what you guys are missing? What's this favor that Gunther has with Paul Heyman?
Yeah, I assumed that was gonna be what was leading up if Brock didn't retire. Like that was gonna be the next match, but there were rumblings of Lesnar not wanting to, do business, and I guess this was it. Not wanting to put Gunther over because it wouldn't make any sense, like logically. Like,
Does it matter that SummerSlam is going to be in Minneapolis?
Not so much, because because Brock went out in his own way, and I think, hey, you could be offered money. Money talks at the end of the day. So we could be, I could be wrong.
Undertaker took his shit off at 33, and he came back for another 3 or 4 years after that. So
yeah, and no, that's correct. I just think that if the only way for him to come back is to be offered just an obscene amount of money, just back up the Brinks truck. But I think that with how real that was, I don't think that was part of an angle,
right?
Because I thought that Gunther was gonna come out there and choke him.
I kind of felt that a little bit too, yeah.
But that was legit. I believe that was spur of the moment. That's why he threw up the X. That wasn't any part of storyline. I was like, hey, that's it. I see how much these people love Oba, how over he is. I think he knew that. He didn't tell no one else. He knew that was his time to retire. and I wouldn't muddy it if if he were just to come back for another match. If they would do Oba and Brock again, I wouldn't mind that. I'd rather see that again. That will go a little longer than him going up against Gunther, because this whole career killer gimmick is dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was supposed to be Ray versus Gunther, Ray Mysterio, but
Right.
Ray Mysterio was like, that ain't work for me, brother. So he put himself in a ladder match, which good, because it helped that match, which we'll talk about next. But yeah, just like the match overall, love the match. Like Ober went out there, he was a star. Like people were chanting, doing the strut. Lesnar came out there, was a beast, looked impressive, and he put him over. Like for the 4 minutes, like the guy put him over, and that's what you want, like a star. Like basically, I believe the torch was passed. Like, the torch was
Also, as
passed,
well,
basically.
if you watch if you watch it back when he was first taking off his boots and gloves, you saw Barrett like tapping Michael Cole on the shoulder, like that. So so this, I mean, look, I think it was definitely spur of the moment too, but I think that there's at least one more match. You know what I mean? One more, just one more. That's it, and it'll be SummerSlam. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Right.
I wouldn't mind being wrong on that, but yeah, that was him retiring like that was like the best way to retire.
Yeah, agreed.
A lot of people saying thank you, Lesnar. I mean, I get it, but just kind of what his history is too. At the same time, it's kind of weird.
I mean, listen, like people are gonna say, "Oh, like the creep is gone, get rid." It's not like, regardless what you say, how you feel about Lesnar, he's one of those guys out there that makes things feel legitimate.
Oh yeah,
He goes out there. When he gets out there, you hear his music, hit, like shit's about to go down.
right.
Regardless what you think, take the personal shit, the allegations, which he wasn't proven that he did.
It's true.
Again, that we got to remember that, because we tend to get caught in the deep end of this muck that is social media and public opinion. We got to be very careful of that, because I see that all the time, and people just get caught up in their feelings. It's like, yo, like we're talking about the wrestling,
Right.
Same people that are upset about Brock, they want Chris Benoit in the Hall of Fame. So it's like, your opinion does not matter to me.
Oh,
You are irrelevant. You're irrelevant.
Or they negate the fact that Hangman Adam Page is friends with a pedophile.
Yeah,
Right.
that too. So yeah, like again, people are hypocritical on that. They choose who and what to be offended by. So again, I don't take them seriously, because a lot of them are faceless. A lot of them they want to be angry, and they want you to be angry at the same thing. But anyway, going back to to Lesnar, like he goes out there, he's legitimate. He makes things feel like authentic, and not a lot of guys do that when they go out there. Like he goes out there and shit feels real. Shit feels like, okay, something's gonna go down, and he was a freak of nature. He was an athlete, hell of an athlete, hell of a performer. And yeah, like there will never be another Brock Lesnar. So that's why like people were saying thank you, Lesnar, and deserving. Like dude was crying out there. I'm like, it's real. He's crying. I've never seen him cry.
Yeah.
God, that big, that intimidating, crying like that. Okay, like that's legit. But yeah, like shouts to Lesnar for putting over. Regardless what you think about him, dude is a beast. Dude is phenomenal. In the ring or the octagon, like he is him, and there will never be another Lesnar. And yeah, we'll see if he gets another match. But yeah, just shout outs to Brock for putting over, and the next big thing.
Yep. All right. Next is a 6-pack ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship. Penta, Javon Evans, Dragon Lee, JD McDonough, Rusev, Rey Mysterio. Again, this was a match that we kind of already knew what was going to happen and who was going to do what. It was fun. was a fun match. Penta was the guy who was going to win, which we all figured. Javon Evans might have been a close second. He did some pretty crazy shit in this match. Rusev was kind of the one just selling everything for everybody. And again, everybody else looked fine, but the two of the biggest stars out of this are obviously Penta and Javon. Javon was probably the biggest star of this, doing that cutter off of the ladder, which was fucking insane. But in the end, Penta won, and it was the right decision.
Incredible showcase. Incredible showcase. One of the better WrestleMania ladder matches. I mean, there's been a ton of them, right? But like, I mean, at least I said, at least through the last few of them, this is a fantastic match. Everyone looked good in here. I think JD McDonough, and you said this during the past as well. He's very underrated. He looked fantastic out there. Javon looked fantastic athletic wise. So being on ESPN and fans seeing him, like seeing the athletic ability, I was like, oh man, this is a big issue there. Penta winning was the right move. He just won it. Yeah, I thought this was the second best match of WrestleMania weekend. Was this match? I thought it was great.
Yep. Yeah, I have fun with this match. All those guys went out there. They just literally tore the house down. A lot of crazy spots. The Canadian Destroyer to JD by Penta, the OG Cutter by Javon to Rusev, and the other spot outside the ring to Rusev. I think it was Rey Mysterio doing the West Coast pop.
Yeah. Popped him over the top.
Yeah,
and
that was insane. And there was another spot I'm trying to remember, but yeah, that match was
Spanish Fly. I don't know if you
Spanish Fly. Yeah,
from JD.
Yeah, that one was crazy too. And this got me thinking, what if they get rid of Money in the Bank as a pay-per-view, but the men's Money in the Bank match night 1, women's night 2.
Yeah,
because this ladder match showcased the reason why we need a ladder match, because
but Money in the Bank now it used to be the big 4. Money in the Bank is is now part of the big 5. So they make too much money for that event now to
Yeah, but I mean, at least have some sort of ladder match.
Yeah.
Where
it could be a tag team ladder match next year. You never know.
I mean, just like they could definitely put one for Mania, but I don't know. Like I like Money in the Bank. I look forward to it, but it's WrestleMania to me is missing that style of match. Something for people to attain towards, something for a storyline to build towards Mania,
right?
At least my opinion, but I mean, we'll see, but overall I enjoyed the match. Like, second best match of the weekend, second match of the night, of course.
All right, next is for the WWE Men's United States Championship, Trick Williams versus Sami Zayn. Trick Williams came out with Little Yachty. I gotta say, Little Yachty and Trick Williams, I think they're good together.
I mentioned that last week.
Yeah, Little Yachty, he gets how wrestling works. Like he didn't try to make the match about him.
No,
I guess is the best thing I would say about it. He didn't stop everything to try and go into business for himself. Like, he got involved, but in spots that made sense, like to attack Sami when the referee wasn't looking, and then Sami got him back, and he was pretty good at selling too. So good on Little Yachty. I also wouldn't mind if he was like Trick's like hype man, from here on out, because they're actually very good together. But
not every single show. I don't want to see him on SmackDown every week, but like for the big events, for like SummerSlam and Royal Rumble, I think I'll be fine with that.
Yeah. But yeah, this match was fine. I mean, we kind of already saw where it was going. I mean, to be honest, it kind of felt like a SmackDown match.
Yeah, it was short, very short.
But again, it's just weird. It's just Trick is the heel, but he's getting cheered, and Sammy's supposed to be the face. He's getting booed, partially because the fans wanted Carmelo, and like me, I wanted Melo part of this match. I'll die on that hill. But the match was what it was. It was fine. It wasn't terrible. It was fine, but it was just mainly meant for Trick to get over and to win, and he did. So, and to what you said, Justin, earlier, they've been doing a good job with Trick. They haven't been rushing him. They've been putting him in spots with main event talent that makes sense. They're not having him go out there and beat Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton in one night.
Right.
They're having him interact with them, but not like beat them straight up. Like they're doing the right thing with Trick, and also Javon. So they're going to good job with all three of those men. But good for Trick.
Well, I mean, I thought this match was good for what it was. Happy for Trick winning, right? After him winning, did you see like the WrestleMania post show with him celebrating with Lash?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was like, oh, hold on there.
You're in public.
Yeah. You're in public. Like, chill. But one thing I do want to note is that Trick celebration afterwards, like he went to a WrestleMania after party. It was him and Obafemi dancing. Like I don't know if y'all guys saw some of that. But also as well, I want to bring up a photo that was taken of Trick Williams, Leon Slater from TNA X Division champion. He was in town, and AEW's TNT champion Kevin Knight. I thought that was very cool, and that just shows me that pro wrestling at the end of the day is a fraternity, and these guys, they all support each other in a certain way. They all watch each other. I just wish fans can see that they support each other and that we do not have to be tribalistic. But whatever, you know what I mean? It's at the end of the day, it's always going to be tribalistic. But that just shows you proof that we can coexist. We can all coexist.
Human nature, Justin. Human nature at the end of the day.
But Trick Williams too. I don't know if you guys know this because there was a lot going on this weekend, and if you missed it, I don't blame you. But the chain that Trick Williams is wearing now on TV, that was gifted to him by Lil Yachty. So I don't know if y'all saw that going around the social media circle this past weekend. So,
yep. I mean, my thoughts on the match, it felt short. It felt like a SmackDown match, but
right.
The right person won. Trick looked good out there. I still wish we had Carmelo Hayes, in this match. Like, that was my thing. They said that he's not cleared. I don't know, like, if he's like legit injured. I don't know. But to me, him not being out on Mania is just like, what are we doing?
Stupid.
And yeah, it's just like a shame. A lot of people were not on Mania this year, and it's like you have all this time for ads, showcase of the commercials,
right,
and the celebrities and all that. But you could, like, someone that's been on TV week in and week out, defending the title, and that be Carmelo Hayes, and then like him losing the way he did just shows, okay, they don't have, not that they don't care, but they just have no long-term plans for Carmelo. And him winning the belt was a moment, because Paul Levesque books moments, not TKO.
It's really just making him a transitional champion. That's the way it feels looking back at it.
Literally, yeah.
Yeah, Sammy has basically become Dolph Ziggler, but with no spice.
Yeah. Just no salt and pepper. Just bland, very bland Dolph Ziggler. It's a shame because I like Sami Zayn.
And it makes me miss Kevin Owens that much more.
Yeah. Yeah, he needs to come back, but I know he had a neck surgery or whatnot. So,
he is coming back to WWE TV. He's gonna be on the new season of LFG.
Oh God.
Damn. Oh boy.
One step closer,
One step. Well, 3 steps with WWE.
Right.
All right. Next is you have what was originally going to be just a regular wrestling match, but became a street fight. So good. The Demon Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio. This was a lot of fun. I'm sorry about that. I'm glad they made this a street fight. If this was just a regular wrestling match, still would have been fine. But the fact that this was a street fight added to the story between Finn and Dom. You know, Dom kicked Finn out of the Judgment Day and then beat his ass. And then Finn, who's like, oh, I guess the only way I got to fight you is to bring back an old persona. So it makes sense as Finn as the demon, who's. I like the fact that he went out there and wrestled a little bit more aggressively as the demon. It makes sense to have it as street fight. So, good match. It was 10 minutes. Was it 10 and a half minutes? I think that's the perfect length for what it need to be. It's weird because Finn was in the Judgment Day for so long, and you know his beard looked just very kind of bushy. And then Monday he comes out and he's clean shaven, and it's like, shit, you look like you're like 10 years younger.
Yeah,
you look like you're back in NXT again.
right.
But again, I was happy to see the demon gimmick back. He kind of looks similar to Venom. I think that's kind of what he was going for. And then Dom coming out as the king of the luchadors, sitting on this throne that you apparently can buy at, was it not Costco? But what's the place that people get like furniture from?
Furniture?
No, but like, what's the big store that everyone goes to?
IKEA, I guess. I don't know.
IKEA. There you go.
Yeah,
IKEA.
That was my attempt at a joke, and I failed. I'm sorry, people. I'm sick. I'm not right there. But anyways, the match itself was fun. I thought the street fight was needed. Good idea of it. So good for Finn.
I don't really have much to add. I love Finn's entrance. I thought that was fantastic. Dom had a great entrance as well, kind of like being on a throne per se, and being carried in. I thought the match was fine. Good. Nothing offensive about that, but good. Like night 2 was a complete difference from night 1. I thought night 2 was overall good, not great. I'm seeing people saying like, oh, night 2 is one of the best WrestleManias of all time. This rivals WrestleMania 40 night 2. Well,
no,
shut the fuck up. No, just shut up. Like, don't like just because something was better than one night than another, you don't have to go that far. But but I thought it was good for what it was, and this match was good overall. So don't really have much to complain about it.
Yeah, I have fun with this match. I kind of wish just we just had a little bit more because mind you, we had a stipulation match.
Right.
So this needed to stand out. And even though, like, again, there was some, those few good spots on here, but it's like they really need to chill out with these stipulation matches and using plunder from, IKEA, like just the Slim Jim tables and the kendo sticks and chairs. Like we need to be more original with these stipulation type matches because like they just feel the same and repetitive, and it just hinders the match. Like this being a street fight helped the match, but when all boils down, there's just another plunder match. So I think by them, they could have done things differently. But again, I have fun with the match, regardless. But just my pet peeves, and it was good seeing Finn out there again. As the demon, and him winning was the right choice. And again, this match could have benefited from having the IC title, on Dom for Finn to win it. And then, just the whole breakup of, Finn being, the whole Finn being booted off of Judgment Day was just botched in my opinion. But, here we are at the end of the day. Just, happy for Finn, and he won not once but twice, so it's pretty good. He won on Monday Night Raw, so
yep,
happy for him. But again, just the story with the Judgment Day is still so much meat in the bone, and it's not capitalizing, unfortunately.
All right, we have 2 more matches. Next is we have for the WWE Women's Championship, Jade Cargill versus Rhea Ripley. So I think Rhea Ripley should be in contention. I mean, every year Rhea Ripley's usually in contention for Women's Wrestler of the Year. I think this year, very much so, she should at least be on everyone's Women's Wrestler of the Year, maybe even Wrestler of the Year in general, because she gave Jade her best match ever. Jade had the best match of her career with Rhea Ripley at Mania, and it's just insane to watch. Like Rhea, I've always liked. I've never shitted on Rhea. I've always thought Rhea's work was great. I think Rhea's great at selling, but Rhea somehow was able to squeeze out a very good match with Jade, and I gotta commend Rhea for that. Like, the match itself was a little predictable. I think you probably could have called every single spot. Michin and B-Fab, who B-Fab apparently she revealed that her and Javon Evans are cousins. So that's kind of
nice.
Cool fact.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, she brought it up in a random interview where like she said she ran into Javon backstage. She's like, "Oh, we're cousins." And everybody's like, "Oh, you mean like as like friend?" I'm like, no, we're actually like blood relatives. We're cousins.
No, pretty
cool. And then EO came out, which again, EO appearing at Mania in a running spot, which she does like a handstand, backflip, and she's wearing a tube top, which apparently she kind of had a slip, but whatever. But in the end, Rhea won. She's now the new women's champion. She's going to SmackDown. She finished up her Raw duties on Monday by having a very tearful goodbye to EO. Yeah, so Rhea's the champion. I think I don't think anyone had any expectations going into this. I think people were just like, we don't give a fuck. But Rhea was able to squeeze out a good match out of Jade. Didn't know she had it in.
Well, yeah, Jade did very well in this match. So did Rhea. I agree with you. I think Rhea so far, almost 4 months fully in, that she is in the contention for Women's Wrestler of the Year so far. Jade looked good in this match, and she even did a one-winged angel in the match.
Bring that up, yeah.
Yeah. One winged angel. Actually, Kenny Omega. He. Do I have it here? Yeah, I have it here. He said on X, when I see the moves I do elsewhere, I only take it as a compliment. If somehow I inspire people to use them, I can only be grateful. Besides, seeing the one wing angel on the WrestleMania ring, I think he meant to say in the WrestleMania ring was kind of neat, right? It's all good with me. So he seems very, he seems like he really liked. And I think I think him and Jade, had a somewhat of a good relationship in AEW as well. So Kenny seems happy. If he's happy, then then great. So he's not stuck up about it. It's like, oh, they're using my moves or whatever, right? He gets it. But yeah, no, I agree with you, Drew. I think Rhea put on a very good match with Jade, and it was a lot better than expected. It wasn't like a match of the year or anything like that, but or even a women's match of the year, but surprisingly a good match. So happy for Rhea. SmackDown fucking needs it, and we'll see where she goes from here. I think her. You know what? I think her and Blake Monroe on the main roster will do good business for sure.
Yeah, I agree. The match, I wasn't really just had no expectations for this match, because just how poorly the story was booked between these two. But surprisingly, they pulled a good match. Again, it takes two to tango.
Right.
But again, I just have issue with Rhea just being placed in the title picture just cause they can't leave her without a title. And I like
Rhea Hogan, brother.
Yeah, and I like Rhea. Like I don't hate her. I just don't like how they just use her as a crutch. Like, okay, just put the belt on her,
right?
And again, these title reigns are just more of a hindrance to a lot of these talents that are holding the belts. So when they lose, it's just like, okay, like what's going on here? What's going on? Like they didn't defend it. They didn't have what makes a good title reign is not only the matches but the feuds and the stories during those during that reign. And a lot of these past title reigns have not been that memorable. So it's like, I mean, maybe Rhea will, have some memorable, feuds, but again, that's just up to creative, and it's just, title recognition will tell us that, yeah, it's not looking good. Like, look at Tiffany Stratton, look at Jay Cargill. So it's like, you know, we'll see. But yeah, Jade wrestled her ass off, and I wish creative will be more consistent with the women's division, because the women's division is just flailing, up to this point. So,
Right.
We'll see.
All right, main event time. Finally here, night 2, Roman Reigns versus CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship. CM Punk coming out to his Ring of Honor intro from AFI, and then good, pretty cool camera work when he comes out. Like the camera's doing this like 180 spin on him. And then he's wearing a jacket that has a bunch of names on it, people that have since passed on. They used to work for WWE, and also Zoc Larry and Harley Race. So I thought that was pretty cool, Punk.
Yeah.
And then a Roman comes out to opera singer and comes out to, I guess you can call it his older thing, but his theme from like 2 years ago.
Right.
Which when I heard that kind of made me think, okay, I think he's going to win. I don't know why, but I think he's going to win just solely based off of that. And I was pleasantly surprised by how much I like this match, because I put on Twitter and Ruben, me talked about it. I was so preordained into thinking, because it's a Roman match, there's going to be shit. There's going to be shit happening. There's going to be a ref bump, and there's going to be Usos, and there's going to be blah, 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 blah. None of that here. And I was happy that there wasn't any. I was happy that they just let them go out there and wrestle and tell a story.
30-minute classic.
30-minute classic. There we go. Like it didn't even feel like it was 30 minutes. That's how well it was paced. And I like the story of, Punk bleeding and just sacrificing his body for his art, and giving Roman everything he had, to the point where his body gave out on him when he's going for that final GTS. So I thought that was good storytelling. And it also paints a good picture of this feud with Punk and Roman, is that Punk has never beat Roman. He's only wrestled Roman twice. The first time was in 2014 on a Raw, and Roman beat him when he was still in the Shield. And Roman beat him again. So that's a story you can maybe build on in the future, if these two ever decide to run it back, which I wouldn't mind. Is Roman can be like, you've never beaten me. So, but anyways, that's another story for another show. But I really like this match. So far, this is my match of the year.
Yeah, I agree.
It was damn near a perfect wrestling match. Damn near a perfect wrestling match, because it had great storytelling. It's funny because night 1 is currently my least favorite match of the year, and night 2 is my favorite match of the year. Because they just actually let those two go out there and just wrestle with no bullshit, no gaga. Let's just have a wrestling match. Let's tell a great story. And you bought the hate between those two more in this match. Like it seemed like legit hate, which it wouldn't surprise me if those two are cool in real life.
Right.
But you can kind of tell that those two maybe were a little bit more snug in the ring with each other. And it worked, because it was a great wrestling match, damn near a perfect wrestling match, and it was everything it needed to be. In my heart, I would have liked if Punk won, but I understand business sense and storyline sense for Roman to win, because we were kind of assuming they're not going to give it to a guy who's never here, but then he announced on the post show that he's going to be here for the summer, which I don't know what just for the summer means, but we'll talk about that, on another show. But love this match. Match of the year so far for me. But what'd you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, right now, this probably would be my match of the year right now. I mean, also, I love Tanahashi and fucking Okada too as well, the farewell match. But I mean, either or, right? You know what I mean? Like, I mean, those are two completely different matches. But But yeah, no, I think this is definitely gonna be up there. You know, we're only 4 months in fully, and definitely fully in match of the year. Great story was told in the match. Roman was in his full form. He was in one of the best shapes I've ever seen him in.
So it's
You
Punk.
know, yeah, Punk too, yeah. Also, I did not want Roman to win originally because I'm thinking like, oh, if Roman wins, he'll be part-time, but he's gonna be full-time again, as talked about earlier too. So the fact that that's happening, I think I think we're gonna have a lot of good going for it here. They left it everything in the ring, and as that's cliche to say, but match was great, really, really good stuff between these two men, and that's what a WrestleMania main event is going to be about. And I think it's one of the top 5-7 WrestleMania main events of all time. So, should be a 5-star match. We'll see what Meltzer gives it. I think Meltzer really loved the match from what I heard. So maybe it'll get 5 stars, maybe not. But at the end of the day, though, I mean, regardless, though, this should be in everyone's match of the year contenders, at least top 10 as well. So at the end of the year, fantastic main event.
Yeah. I enjoyed this match. Like as soon as for the entirety of night 2, I was glued to to my computer screen because this night of Mania was much more engaging, and it felt like Mania. And then going to the main event, I stopped what I was doing, paying attention to the match because I knew stuff was going to go down, and it did. And I was happy with the match. There was certain points where I thought, okay, like Punk was gonna win, and I had Roman winning, but my head said, okay, let me go, be prepared for Punk winning, which wouldn't have been, wrong, but when he went out there with his, OG, with his head of the table theme.
Right.
And when they were doing the intros, Roman did the gun gesture to CM Punk, and he had the gold glove. When he's gold glove Roman, that he's gonna go out there and he's gonna win.
Right.
So the fact that there was moments where we had that disbelief, suspended, that Punk could have won. Oh, Roman could have won. Punk could have won. Like, there was so many crazy near falls in that match. I was like, okay, this is good. Like, you need that. You need that unpredictability. And, they were both using each other's finishers. The steel steps was, I mean, that was I was like, DQ, I guess
yeah,
not.
that was the only thing that kind of felt like what?
Yeah.
Are we being serious? But yeah.
Yeah, I was like, interesting. But besides that, I enjoyed the match. Match of the year contender at the end. Punk gave out. He was spent. And, that gave Roman the cue. Okay, gonna just spear this kid to Kingdom Come. And yeah, just good, good visuals, good smack talk from both, Roman and Punk. And yeah, Roman's your new World Heavyweight Champion, and again, match of the year contender. And the fact that he's going to be part-time, I knew it was going to be full-time. I knew it was going to be full-time. Him winning, there was no way he was going to be part-time champion, because they need him on Netflix. They need him there, almost all the time. So I definitely saw that coming. If he was gonna win, that he was gonna be full time.
Can I ask y'all something? Do you think another reason why they made him champion going into the summer is because summer is kind of a dull time for wrestling?
Yeah, probably so. But I think it was. I think it's just more that he's saying, yeah, I'm gonna be back full time. So I think that's more of the thing. So
well, yeah, because summer, the ratings are usually not that great. The attendance is usually that great. So Roman being the champion through the summer, that's a big boost for ratings and attendance.
Yeah. But also on top of that as well, during the match itself, I don't know if you guys saw or remember that Punk gave him the GTS. He was gonna give him another GTS, like that particular spot. He did that spot only 2 other times, and then the other 2 times were against former Shield members, Seth Rollins,
Mm-hmm.
Moxley.
Yep.
Great story, great storytelling.
But
Like
his
it
body-
it doesn't even have to be in the same company. Just
Yeah.
great storytelling.
and then his body gave out on Roman.
Yeah, I gave out on Roman.
Yep.
Roman's the only Shield member he can't beat.
Yep.
So, but overall, that was we're finished with night 2 WrestleMania, almost doing 3 hours.
Yeah.
So,
Well, will you
8 out of
give
10,
night
by the
2
way.
rain out of 10?
Yeah. 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10.
Night 2.
Yeah, 10. I give it a 7. I give it a 7 out of 10. Good show. For me, if I do a 7 out of 10 and a 3 out of 10, WrestleMania gets a 5 out of 10 for me overall.
Jeez.
Yeah, 5 out of overall 5 out of 10.
Yeah.
Just too many commercials. Night 1 was a stinker. The main
Yeah,
event
even
for
night 2.
1.
Night 2 was full of commercials too. So.
Yeah. Overall, like both nights
Yeah.
full commercials. Night 1 was terrible. Main event with Cody and Orton was bad. Gunther and Rollins was pretty solid, but it wasn't, in my opinion, was not enough to save night 1. And
Yeah.
night 2 being that good didn't save the whole weekend as a whole.
No.
It was just like, no, like both nights has to be solid. That you can't have one night feel like a pre-show and then the next night feel like an actual pay-per-view. Like you're just getting scammed. It's
Right.
like getting a bag, getting a bag of chips and most of it is air.
Right.
Like literally, that's
Which
how
is-
it felt.
Which is all bag of chips.
Literally, yeah.
Which that's fucking malpractice right there. It's like I paid for the party size bag of Cheetos and you're giving me half. Like come on.
Tomahawk steak. You know how much a tomahawk steak was going for at Allegiant Stadium? $157.
Jeez. A steak?
I mean, it's a tomahawk.
Well, what? Okay, I'm not even trying to sound like a dick. What exactly is a tomahawk steak?
It's like a huge fucking cut of steak. Is typically ribeye. So it's.
But would you
I
pay?
mean, now I wouldn't pay 157 for a tomahawk steak, but generally tomahawk steaks is like about half that price, $80 to $90.
That shit,
Typically, depending where you go.
that shit better give me superpowers if I have to pay 150 fucking bucks.
Hey man, I love me some steak, but not that much.
It better give me a freaking. Never mind, I was about to say something. It better make me shoot out freaking like Kamehameha wave out of my. I had a fucking joke and I ruined it. Never
It's
mind.
late.
It's late and I'm sick and I'm dying. I don't know what I'm talking about. But anyways, people, we are done. We hope you enjoyed this show as much as we enjoyed talking about it. I'm sorry that I'm sick. I'm sorry that I had to cough a lot and clear my throat a lot, but I had to rub some dirt on my wound, as the people would say. But Twitter X, DY Experience, Instagram, TikTok. There's a Facebook page. Just look up Drew Yari Experience and you'll find the page. I mentioned this to the fellas through a text, not just Justin and Ruben. Also mentioned this to Joe, Punches, and RJ, which me and RJ will be doing Friendly Neighborhood Marks tomorrow. So look out for that. You can now listen to the audio. You can, because whenever I switched to StreamYard to just do YouTube, I stopped doing Spreaker. I noticed that I was still getting statistic emails saying your show is big in Thailand or whatever the fuck. I'm like, I haven't even put out new episodes on Spreaker. So on Spotify, I just reverted the host to Spotify. So I will be putting out new episodes on Spotify for the audio. So look forward to that. And of course, the YouTube channel. Make sure you sub to the channel, leave a like and leave a like and a comment. That helps with the algorithm. And then just all of our shows, the experience, of course, Friendly Neighborhood Marks, Joe Lunches with Punches, Metal Trap Hoops, and the NXT PLE post shows I do with Jeff Littner. So, and of course, I'm pretty sure Rube's going to mention this Culture Attack. So, but that's enough about me, fellas. Go ahead and plug your stuff.
Yeah, I'll go first. Spinebuster Tees, spinebustertees.com. You guys know where to go for that. Spinebuster Tees on Instagram. See what I'm doing inside of my shop. and see what kind of new stuff I can get inside my shop, which is Spinebuster Tees at Wonderland of the Americas. Come and get yourself a t-shirt, Funko Pop, wrestling action figure, trading card, anything pro wrestling related inside my shop. You won't regret it. You won't regret it. It's a very fun place to come talk professional wrestling. That is at Wonderland of the Americas, and again, that's Spinebuster Tees at the Wonderland of the Americas. Spinebuster Tees on Instagram and spinebustertees.com. Take us home, Ruben.
Yes, sir. Just follow me on X at Mr. Room Prime, and just check out Culture Attack on Spotify, on YouTube, TikTok.
Was that it?
That's it. It's we've been going at it for 3 hours, so it's like just quick, just nice and quick.
All right, people, we are out. I'll see you tomorrow morning for Friendly Bud Marks, and we will see y'all next week at Wednesday, same time, same channel.
Yep.
Blah, 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 blah. And have a good night. Peace out.
Peace.
Hello.